Hello there, welcome on. How's it going?
What's up? What's everyone doing?
Good,
Oh man,
good.
it's just you that can speak, I guess. But hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so many people.
All right.
1 second.
Well,
Give me a little bit. I need like 1 minute to set some things up, and then for all I care, we could start. Is my mic okay? Can everyone hear me?
yeah, sounds good to me. Just want to say to
All right.
everyone else, welcome on in. If you haven't been here before, this is Elemental Seminars. This is going to be our first one of the new year and our fifth one in total. Yeah, so hope you enjoy the content. I know Natsuki here from Sakura Esports and Kitsugi has a nice presentation prepared. We all get to learn quite a few things, and then after, if we stick around, we're going to have a little Q&A, questions you might have, about the content or anything in general. This time around, I'm just going to ask that we try to leave it to one question with like a possible follow-up. We can always come back in line just to make sure, everyone gets a chance to ask some questions. We don't get too stuck on a little back and forth.
All right, sounds good to me. I have a question. Is there a channel or something where I'll try and keep my mind? I like normally when I do coaching, do it like one-on-one or with a team. I have a little bit more back and forth. So if people want to ask questions, like while I'm speaking, I feel like if I have somewhere where I can read them out, I might not see it, I might not respond because it might not be relevant, or like if I don't respond to your question in the chat, by all means ask it after I'm done speaking in the Q&A. But if there's somewhere I can look where you guys can ask questions you have like while I'm speaking, would it be event chat or would it be like the chat in the?
Yeah, so it'd be
Which
the
one
chat
should
and the
we use?
stage generally. When it comes to the Q&A,
All right.
I generally will ask them in order and ask them to you or bring someone up on stage to ask you the question, just so it's easier for you. But like if you want to, I'm more than happy to let you read that.
I see the questions coming in already. Tiberius asking, why did you use beat on King's Row second? That is a good question. I wish I knew. All right. All right. Well, if everyone's ready, let me try and share my screen, I suppose. Get my entire screen. Alrighty. If ZCZ got the TP Suzu off, would have worked, dude. You just didn't see the vision. Right, Hammer87. That's what I tell myself at night as well. Alright, everyone. Can you all see my screen? When I start putting up some clips, I'll also ask if the sound is good, because hopefully you guys can also hear some clips. Alright, well, welcome. I'm honored to be here and give you guys a little seminar about giving direction. I've given some of the people here some individual coaching, and then I got asked to present this because, the world of main support is a wild place and vastly misunderstood for a lot of people, especially when they're coming up. So, yeah, I hope to teach you something today. Not just about main support, but just about the game. I hope everyone can get something from it, whether you're a main support or not. But a lot of things I'm going to talk about have to do with what I believe a good main support should be doing and what their job is as the main support, because I feel like it's widely misunderstood. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going over today. All right, that being said, why would you listen to me? Well, first of all, I'm Natsuki. Nice to meet you. I play Overwatch for Sakura and OWCS. I had my first real OWCS year this year, so I'm pretty old, but you could tell I'm pretty much a rookie still when it comes to competing. And I had a good year. So further than that, I have a lot of coaching experience IRL. Since I've been 14 years old, most of my my side jobs are the jobs you're doing as a kid were basically coaching at the local field hockey club because I competed there. I spent every day on and off the field coaching teams and giving them training. So that's why I've done it for 27 now since I was 14, 13 years. So hopefully I can able to channel that energy and teach you guys something today. That being said, what are we going to talk about today? What is our scope? What am I going to try and attempt to teach you today? Because obviously, Overwatch is a wild game. There's a lot of things you can talk about. You guys have had a bunch of different seminars already. Well, what I want to focus on today specifically is I want to give you guys insight on how to actually have impact as a main support. Way too often, main supports just get asked to A, not feed, and B, ult track. But then it doesn't really do anything. Like the ult track doesn't go anywhere. And it's sometimes hard for your teammates, but even for yourself to figure out a way how to present the information you have and the things you know to like actually make a winning impact, actually put your team on the right spot at the right time, make the game really easy for them. Sometimes it's very hard. So I'm going to try and teach you guys how to give direction to your team while you're playing. Okay, and after that, I'm going to try and provide you a framework on how to do it and how to hopefully apply it also in your own games. Actually, practice this in your own scrims. So I hope to not just give you information, I also hope to give you a way to step by step apply this in your own games, practice all the small things one by one, and then, I mean, hopefully, if you can do it all at the same time, hopefully dethrone me and take my job in like a year or so. So that's my goal. That's the scope. Now, if we talk about scope, it's also important to talk about what is not in the scope. Okay, so what will I not be talking about? What are you not going to get in this world? I'm not going to really talk about any mechanics. I'm not going to really talk about any hero-specific stuff. I'm not going to talk about Lucio. I'm not going to talk about Brig. I'm not going to talk about Wu Yang. If you have questions about that stuff, by all means, feel free to ask me afterwards. But it's not something I'm going to focus on this scrim. And last but not least, I will not be going over how to successfully beat on King's Row. I clearly do not know how to do it. So that's what we're not going to do today. All right, then moving on. Let's move on to the first big misconception that I think a lot of people have with being a main support. All right. Often enough, see some reactions. That's good. I forgot that was him. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Like, I wish I didn't remind you. A lot of the time, main supports, when they start scrimming, when they just get into it, they start to scrim with their teams and they're doing it for the first time. They're a bit of a novice. They get asked to track ult. It's kind of like the thing the main support does. How that has come in like history, it's whatever. That doesn't matter. But way too often, what you see is when people starting out, and I coach them, I can see that they will ult track and they will give the information to the team. But again, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't lead to a better team fight. They don't really understand what they should be doing with the information, and their teammates also do not. I mean, it seems like they don't care. They hear, okay, they have beat, and then what? Like how do I use this information in any meaningful way? So what that means basically, you can perfectly ult track to the %, but it does not matter if you don't actually give direction with what you're saying. Basically, a lot of these players, when they're starting out, I see them as I call them TA84s. I don't know if this is something you guys had growing up and had to do in high school, but you're just ult track calculators, but you don't actually do anything. So my goal is for you guys to teach you the ways on how to not be like a nice graphic TA84 graphic calculator. So that's kind of the goal I'm going to have today. I may or may not have had 3 TI-84s in my backpack at all times. All right, well, that's a lot. Calc, short for calculator. Right, yes, exactly. That's too funny. All right. So, that being said, let me get my notes. All right. So what should you be doing as a main support if it's not just blindly calling out ult percentages? All right. What I believe a good main support does, and excuse me if the start of this is going to be a bit of text. I'm going to have a lot of clips and voice fragments later, so hopefully you don't get too bored initially. But what I believe a good main support does is they read the current game state, so they can figure out how the game is going. Are we in a good position? Are we in a bad position? They need to be able to understand what the enemy wants to do, how we're going to lose this fight. Like, how did the enemy want to win? What do we need to be careful of? And that's very important. You are the one with the information, ideally, that they have overclock or they have flux, and we need to be careful for it. So we want to understand what the enemy team wants to do. We also, this is often very overlooked, we need to understand what we want to do. So, it's all well and dandy that they have flux, but, I mean, I have an overclock and a blade. What should we do with those ultimates? So what do we as a team want to do? And how do I guide my team into setting them up for success? So if we have a certain ultimates, how am I gonna tell my team, let's go here, or let's get a lot of value out of the ult? How are we gonna win the game? That's really the question you're asking. All right, and lastly, how do you provide that information to your team in a way that it actually gives them direction, gets everyone on the same page, and makes their lives easy? Because that is your job at the end of the day. Do not feed and make your other players pop off. Make their lives easy. Any question on that so far? On like what a main support is supposed to do? Played against you in quick play the week before you did it, so I think I injected the Ajax into your head before your SSG match. Right, Kai. I am blaming you for that. I will blame you for that, actually. Thanks for reminding me. All right. None so far? Then I'll just keep going. All right, so we're trying to put our teammates in a position to succeed. All right. I'm going to go over a bunch of concepts on how to actually achieve those things. And I try my best to structure the seminar in a way where no matter how good you are currently, no matter if you just started scrimming, or no matter whether you are competing against me in FaceIt Masters or in OWCS, there's something you can take away. So if you don't understand me, don't get discouraged, because it might, especially at the end of it, might get a little bit technical, or maybe a little bit, might go a little bit too fast for you. But don't worry. I've scheduled it so that, especially in the beginning, I'm going pretty slow, pretty basic and simple stuff. So that no matter where you are, skill-wise, you can take something away from it, okay? And there's something you can take away from this seminar and try and practice yourself. So if you're a pretty good main support already and you're competing at a high level, hopefully you don't get too bored at the beginning. Please give some, respect to people that might not know it yet, so they can also, get something out of it. So I hope if you are a very good player, you don't get bored right away. I'm sure there's a lot of things I can teach you still. Just hang around a little bit until the end, okay? All right. So what concepts am I going to go over? The first thing I'm going to talk about is pre-fight direction. So we're going to give direction. This whole VOD is like me trying to convince you not just to be an ult-track bot, but to actually give direction to your team about what needs to happen for us to win the game. All right. So that's also the very first question you're gonna be having to ask yourself all the time. Okay, what if I'm silver main support and what is ult tracking? I'm not sure if it's a serious question, but I'm gonna pretend it is. I think you might be baiting, but ult tracking basically means as your job to to realize, hey, they have used their window last fight. They're gonna have all the other 4 ultimates next fight, so we can understand better what we have to be careful of going into the next fight. That's probably the most easy way I can explain it. I will move pretty far on it because I feel like if you're here, you probably know what ult tracking is. But I hope that that answers your question a bit. Would you say main support has more responsibility for macro because they have less opportunities to pop off and control less space? Not so much. I think you still need to very much not int your brains out, and you actually have a lot of things you need to do mechanically too. It's just something that kind of happened over time, where the main support is often the guy with the speed boost, and they control the pace of the game a little bit more. So yeah, it's generally something that like a lot of main supports do, but it doesn't have to be the main support. Pre-fight direction is where we're at. Okay, often overlooked, but if you're just starting out, you just know what to ult track, and you feel like you're a TI-84 and you're a calculator only. The first question you can ask yourself before every single fight is: you do your ult track, you realize what the enemy team have. Wrong. No, it starts with your own ults actually. Look at your screen, press tab, and boom, we're now Twisted Minds. You see these ultimates. We have a Baptiste window, we have an overclock. All right, I'm gonna ask you guys the question: how do we win next fight? And you don't have any context about the enemy team, but honestly, if you're starting out, very simple. You don't have to. How do we win this fight? Does anyone have any idea? Any suggestions? You wanna Alt F4, good one. How do I turn my team with the TM? Yeah, nice. Yeah, we have window and overclock. So how are we gonna use those next fight? Like how are we gonna win with those ults? Use the window, overclock Fenos. All right. Angle. Alright, I have used the window. Pop and so go together, use ults together. Alright, I have a really good answer here, which I'm gonna read out for you guys. If it doesn't like go out of my screen right now because you're typing a lot. Hammer87 says long angles for overclock. Spen says good spacing, positioning. These are all good, and let Quartz do his stuff. That is also true. Alright. Long angle for OC is something. If you think about how we're going to win a fight, let's think about where do we want to play. Where do these ults get value? Where are they very strong? So we have a window and we have an overclock. I'm going to ask you guys the question. Let me make sure I'm under attack. Do we want to play... Oh, fuck. Wrong. My bad. Do we want to play far away or do we want to play close? Do we want to play very close to the chokes or do we want to play the open space? Far, far, far. Mid AR. Open space. Good far. Exactly, right? If you want to overclock and window, these are ultimates that get a lot of value on the open space. So where do you want to be? You want to kind of be somewhere where your soldier can see a lot of space. You don't want to be close to the corners. You don't want to be close in chokes. You want to be in the open space. Same for window. Does that make sense? And again, this might sound very easy to you guys, but there's a reason I start with this, because it is like something some teams don't even do. Because they're too worried about the enemy ults that they don't even think about, hey, how should I give direction to my own team on what to do? So let's start with us. What do we want to do? In this case, we want to use overclock and window in open spaces where they can see a lot and do a lot of damage. Right? Alright. Another one for you guys. How do we win here? We're now Toronto Defiant. We have a U-Knot and we have a Blade. How do we win? Do we play the open space or do we play the close space? Close space. Why? Why? Get typing. Why do we want close space? Shingo Brr. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're short range ults. Completely right. Yeah, close the gap. Exactly. These ultimates, if we stand on the opposite sides of the point in Africa, like we're not going to be able to swing at anything with our sword, right? Or our ray is not going to actually connect with anything. So we need to try to play more close space. We want to hold the choke. We want to make sure we can close the distance, right? So I'm getting the feeling you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it, okay? I know it's pretty simple, but that's what we're starting with. It's pretty simple, okay? We're looking at our own ults first. We want to get close, right? All right. Now, the other question you have to ask, not only how can we win, but here's the main support ult tracking coming out. How do we lose, right? That's the other question. We know what we want to do, but what does the enemy want to do? All right, we're still Toronto Defiant. We still have Blade and Overclock. And we're playing as Nightmare. This is Stage 4 2024 Grand Finals. I took some screenshots from here. Again, we still have Blade and Unalt. Nightmare has Noon. Right? So, you tell me, we're Toronto Defiant. What needs to be the direction of our team this fight? Going into this fight. Again, I'm going to keep it very simple. Do we want to be far or do we want to be close? I don't need that. Like, a lot of people are fight planning right now. Ray, bait Noon, be ready to kite, enter with Blade. That's all very correct, can be very correct. But I'm trying to keep it very simple, because when you want to talk to your team, you don't want to give them a fight plan, you want to give them a direction on what to do. Right? We want to be close. Exactly. We want to set up close. And it's literally as simple as that. So next time you're looking at the ult chart and you're trying to piece it together, what do we want to do? What do they want to do? Okay, guys, they have only Noon. We want to get close to them with our ultimates. Boom. That's it. That's all you have to say. That is insane direction for your team. Because now everyone knows, oh hey, we have to be careful of the Noon and we want to get close to them. How do we do it? And everyone starts thinking and you can actually start a fight. But that initial reaction, that initial someone's making jokes in chat, sorry. That initial direction is super important, because as a main support, when you're ult tracking, you're going to be the first one on your team to be aware of this situation. And the sooner you can give this information to your team, the better it will be for you, because that means the better you can set up. Alright, I have the game opened, I think. I'll give a quick example of this phenomena. Just to really drive it home, okay? Because this is like the most basic fundamental things you can do as a main support. Open your loot boxes to give your team direction and instantly get more value than just being an ult tracker, okay? So let's go into New Junk City. Let's put me in spec. Can you also see my epic pen? Is that working for everyone? Can you see my red, my pink drawings? Awesome. All right. Let's start. All right. All right. So we still have the same ult track as we just did now, right? We have the blade and the unult. They have the noon. Okay. So we're drawn to the fight. We have Ray and Blade. They have noon, right? Okay, we just want to fight. We're drawn to the fight. We just want to fight. And you're all tracking right now, right? Our spawn is on this side, and their spawn is this side. All right, boom. They have noon. We have Ray Blade. Where do you want to hold? What do you want to do? All the way up at the choke. Set up choke. Exactly. Why do you want to be at the choke? Can anyone explain? I know maybe it's very repetitive, but I do want to know. I want to make sure everyone gets it. Choke is close place, hard to walk through, very limited sight lines, so the noon gets no value. Exactly. It's twofold, right? Obviously, this is a very cherry-picked example, but we want to be close, they want to be far, we just want to fight, so we can set up wherever we want. So make sure we direct our team to hold close. Hold this choke, hold this choke, hold this choke. Make sure they cannot, make sure we do what we're good at, being close with our blade and our ray, and make sure they cannot do what they're good at, which is nooning. Would you not pressure walk up? You can still pressure walk up. I'm really trying to fundamentally drive it down that as a main support, you're the first person to know whether we should hold close or open space. Right? Alright, let's turn it around. We have the noon, they have blade, and they have ray. And we get this up because we just want to fight. Where do you want to play? Do we know percentage on the point? Maybe. That will change things too, but we're just keeping it simple right now. Wide, high guard on point, angles. Alright, why do we want to play above the point? Somebody explain. Sightlines can seem more hard to reach. Wow. What a beautiful class do I have here. They need to burn CDs to get in, and we zone them entirely. Exactly. If we have the noon, if we're going to play at the choke, our noon can't see anything, and the moment they get to the choke, they will ray us and they will blade us and we die. But if we know that they want to be close and we want to be far, we can put our high noon right here, gets to see the whole map, and we can really pressure their walk up and make it really hard for them to get close to us, because we have long range and we're playing for our value. They have to use a lot of CDs to close the gap. Exactly, Ron. Alright. Pretty simple. I think everyone gets it. Everyone that's typing, they can get it. I feel like you guys are getting it, so that's good. Alright. Again, very simple. How do we win? How do we lose? You ask those two questions, you make a decision. Do we play close or do we play far? If you can do that in your next scrim, if you're not doing that right now, and you can consistently try and give your team direction that way, infinitely you will win more fights. And you get more value of your ultimates, and everyone will be happy. Does knowing Terror, Search, and Rally come in mid-fight change your setup? It might. It might change your setup, but I'm just trying to get in a very brief point. We'll probably go over that a little bit later in some other scenarios. But you're right. Okay. All right. Having kept that as simple as possible, we're going back to the vote. All right. I feel like there's no questions so far. I feel like you've all been good on the same page. All right. So we just talked about whether we should play far or for close. There's another really important thing that you will know as the main support first. All right. Should we fight on or off the point? So not just close or far. Should we play on or off the point? I give you a more example of the Twisted Minds special, Lucio Kiri Symmetra, right? I mean, I already see a lot of ons. Yes, this comp is completely busted if you get your Fox on point, your Grav on point, your Sim Wall on point. Most broken ultimate in the game, by the way. So if you're Twisted Minds and you have these ultimates, ideally you want to take a fight on the point, right? I think we can all agree. You're already spamming it before I asked you. So if our ults are really good on point, we should tell our team, hey, how do we win? We should play on the point. Why is Symbol broken? It's broken because it has so much HP, and it's almost like you have a third support ult. It's like a really, really powerful ultimate. especially if you can get on the objective with it. Yeah. So if you have ults that are really good on the point, Fox, Symbol, Beat, Graph, whatever, then tell your team, hey, we want to play on the point here. If we get our ults on the point, we'll probably win the fight. It is almost impossible to win a fight if you have a Symmetra, Lucio carry, all with ult on the point. Very simple, right? So if you can realize, hey, we should play on the point, tell your team, all right, this is the ultimates they have, but we should really be looking to fight on the point. All right. Okay, we've transformed into Crazy Raccoons, okay? We're now playing Crazy Raccoons, we're playing some Pharah Ashe Kiri, and we're playing as Twisted Minds with all their beautiful ultimates. We just want to fight, so we get the setup. I'm the main support, I say, hey, team, I have bad news. They have 5 ultimates. They have Symbol, they have Fox, they have Beat. If they get the point, we are cooked. We are absolutely fucking cooked. Right? So what do you tell your team? Not only do we maybe play, okay, hey, we should play the open because we have overclock, or we have noon, so we should play open. We already did that. That's something you can think about. The other thing you can think about is, hey, their ults are really good on point. Let's try and force a fight off the point. Make sure when they use their Fox, it hopefully isn't on the card. Because their Fox is way stronger on the card than off the card. Same with Symbol. I've hopefully given you direction to, like, you ult track, you're looking at your tab, you see the ultimates you have, and you're thinking to yourself, how do we win? Should we play close or should we play open? And should we fight on the point, or are we better fighting off the point? If you can answer those 2 questions and tell your team in a simple way, boom, instant value. Your team will be on a better position because they can instantly take the space they need to take. And it's all because you had the foresight and the realization early. If you would just say, hey, they have 5 ults and didn't say anything else, well, I'm sorry, buddy. You're a TI-84 calculator. And I really wish you guys are not TI-84 calculators. All right. So far, so good. Then I'm going to finish this first section off as simple as possible with one other simple thing you can do. Right? That will help you every single fight. And this is not complicated. Everyone can do this. All these things. So find and focus expert. I wish I had an example here, but one thing that you can do to give direction to your team as the ult tracker. Okay, we're in a position. Hey, they only have overclock. Right? Instead of saying, hey, they have overclock, instead tell your team and prime them to find where the soy is. I cannot overstate to you guys, if I'm playing against Twisted Minds and I realize that Quartz has overclock and that's their only ultimate, how scary that is. Right? So what you do is you tell your team, they have clock. Where's the soy? Find the soy. He might still kill you, but the very basic thing you can at least do is find out where he is. Tell your team to scout for him. Where the fuck is this Sojourn? Is he hiding? Is he in main? Because then not only does your team know, oh, the clock is coming, we have to be careful. We have to do something about it. They're also actively scouting him, so they don't get surprised. Quartz has clock equals prey. Disrupt the threat. Exactly. This goes for clock. It goes for other ultimates too. If they only have like one ultimate, and you really figure it out, you ask yourself, how do they want to play the game? How can we lose this game or this fight? And you realize, oh hey, their win condition is Blade. Oh, team, they need to win with Blade. So let's make it super hard for him. Let's play the open space. Let's not let them get close. And let's shoot him really, really hard. Focus that Genji down. I mean, they can have an ultimate all they want, but if they're dead before they can use it, it's no use. Right? So I hope that makes a little bit sense. You kind of get that? It's very easy calls you can make all the time. Every fight you can make a call like that. They have Blade? Oh, let's focus the Blade. Let's find out where Genji is. Let's make sure we shoot him really hard. Right? And I'm assuming this all makes sense to you guys inherently, but it is really important that you are consistently realizing it and telling your team it, because they also need to know. And you're instantly on the same page as your team. You're giving direction and actually making an impact rather than just saying they have Blade. Right? And again, it's not super hard to do. It will take some getting used to. It will take some practice to realize what they can do to win. but I hope I've given you at least some basic tools to do so. Right, easily applicable, Spen. Exactly. That's what I was hoping for. Don't react to the ults, plan around how to play with and against ults. Yes, that's what it comes down to. And I really try to start with some simple concepts everyone can do. Like literally everyone. Not even main supports. You can even do this if you're a tank or if you're a DPS. And you realize you have the clock and they have blade. Team, can we hard focus Genji this fight? If he gets on me, we lose. I want to get clock value. Oh, team, I have blade. They have overclock. Let's get really close. I wanna kill the Sojourn. I don't want to give her a free angle. I want to play the close choke. Key takeaways from this first part. Give your team direction. Don't be a TA84. Ask yourself, should we play close or open? Should we play on and off the point? And find their scary ultimates and deal with them. Right? How do you incorporate pathing into those calls? Good question, Alex. How do we incorporate pathing into those calls? I'll say it. That's not your job. You cannot do everything. I wish you could. Maybe some people do call a lot, but your team also has voices, right? So if you give the initial direction, hey, we want to play close in the choke, then everyone can instantly walk close to the choke. And then maybe your tank is like, oh, hey, we want to get close. Let's go via right side. Or your Genji is, hey, I want to hold the top in this choke here. Help me here. Because I want to be close. Because you told me to be close, so I instantly know where to go. And then they can take it from there. Right? It doesn't have to be all you. But that initial reaction, that initial... Can you repeat the TA84 analogy again? Right. If you're just ult tracking, and that's all you're doing, yes, they have 70 to beat, and they have Fox, you're not actually giving your team any value. And what often happens is that, you're just a calculator, and that's it. And you don't actually provide any value to your team. So don't be a calculator. Actually give direction with what you know. All right. And again, all these things are very practicable individually. Literally take one and practice it for a week. Or even in a ranked game, or in a scrim. Say, hey, if I just focus on pressing tab every ult track and telling my team whether I should play close or open, boom, instantly more value than if you're doing nothing. How does mid-fight ult tracking change the team direction? All right, we'll get to mid-fight later. I have a portion about mid-fight later, and we'll look at some examples. This is the very dry part. This is the part without any cool clips and stuff. But I just wanted to get the very basic idea across on how to give direction, even if you're not very good at ult tracking or you're not very practiced in giving direction. I feel directed, thank you. All right. Pre-fight, ult economy. In brackets, simple. All right, not the player. Actually, just like hopefully basic stuff. So we talked about to give direction, whether we should play far or close, or on the point, off the point. What we need to be careful of. Do we need to shoot the Genji a lot because he has blade? We're going to go a little bit more in depth now. It should still be pretty simple, but especially if you're practicing, instead of just ult tracking, let's give direction to your team in another way, right? Let's realize ourselves, let's practice knowing what the ult economy is like, and then giving your team direction with that information. So, question you can ask, you're ult tracking, you're holding tab, you're seeing what ults you have, and you're seeing what ults they have. It should instantly click in your brain. Hey, do we have ult advantage? Or do they have ult advantage? Are we down ult? Very simple. If I go and look, if we press tab after a game and we see this, right? We're now SSG and we see they have 5 ultimates. We have 5 ultimates and we just realized that Sakura are being bots and used 5 ultimates last fight, right? Do we have ult advantage or ult disadvantage? We're SSG right now. Very simple. We have ult advantage, all right? Exactly, advantage. Very simple. But what does that mean? It's all great that we realize that, and it's important we realize that. It's very important for us to realize that. But then, what now? What now? What do we do with this information? Okay, we have more ults. What does that mean? What does that mean? All right. Plan ult fight? Yeah, you can plan, but more importantly, what does it mean that we have ult advantage? Okay, I'm giving you an example. We're taking this fight right now. We're in this situation. We're SSG, and we're playing against Sakura. Okay? Obviously, we kind of know we have ult advantage. That means that's good for us, right? Surely that's good. Force objective, yeah, you saw my next slide. I see you, Hanu. I see what you did. What does it mean that we have more ult advantage? If we take a straightforward fight right now, SSG walks in a straight line into us, and Sakura walks into a straight line into SSG. A normal fight. Who's gonna win? You tell me. SSG. Right. Exactly. I feel like that's pretty obvious, right? SSG has all the ults. they're most likely to win a fight if it's a normal fight, Lenny diff. In this case, I don't think it has anything to do with Lenny. I think it's the fact that they have 5 check marks and we have 0. Right? So if we have 5 ultimates and we have more ultimates than enemy team, zombie clears, exactly. That's why I like the hero ritual. If we have a lot of ultimates and they don't, we have advantage. That means we're more likely to win a fight. If we fight right now in a normal fight, the team with more ultimates will win. Can we agree on that? Would we say that's logical? Can we agree on that, everyone? Just say yes or no. Right. Okay. That's great. So we're winning next fight. We're favored to win next fight. Correct? So that's all great. We get the win a fight. We get some dopamine because we pop our big ults. But what is more important? We have an advantage. We should actually convert that into something. Like we actually want to win the game with that thing, right? So what is important to realize if you have ult advantage? We want to convert that into fight wins and into objective progress. We want to push the card. We want to cap the point. We want to win the flashpoint. We want to, push the bot 80 meters. Does that make sense? That's the end goal. When you have an advantage, you want to, it's an objective-based game. You want to push the cart, or you want to do something with the objective, because if they fight you, you're likely to win in a normal way. So how do you get them to fight you? Well, very simple. If you force the objective, then they have to make a choice. If SSG with all their ults decide to force the objective, Sakura has to make a choice. Do we let them take the objective and run away and maybe farm our own ults and play slow? But then we're losing the game anyway because they're on point, they're pushing the point. Or do we fight them on point, knowing that we're probably gonna lose because they have way more ultimates than we have? If we have ult advantage and you realize in your ult track, hey, we have so many more ultimates than they do, there's 2 things you want to do. You want to take straightforward, clean fights where there's no risk, they're not flanking. Take a normal fight and we'll probably win it because we have more ults. And we want to get objective progress. And usually those go hand in hand. If we force the objective, we either force them to give up a lot of progress, a lot of meters, a lot of point percentage, because they don't want to fight us, because they know they're going to lose. Or they fight us and we win because we have better ults. Right? So we can force them to actually fight us by taking the objective. Does that make sense? Is that logical? Is this a little gibberish? Right? Alright, so as the main support, in a very simple way, if you're just getting started, right, and you want to give more direction to your team, if you realize, hey, we have a lot more ults than they do, tell your team, hey, team, let's force the objective. We have better ult. Let's just fight them clean. Force objective, get progress, right? And I think I have an example, actually, just to make sure it's not all gibberish. If you can take a look at the ult site, we're about to take a fight. We have Grav and we have Fox, and Extinction really only has Bola, and we're also going to get Noon. So who has ult advantage in this scenario? Sakura. Right. Sakura, exactly. So, with the logic I just explained, what is it that we want to do with our ult advantage? Go point, force objective. Okay, why would we want to force objective? You guys are correct. We should force objective and get progress. But why? The why is important here. Make it a clean, straightforward fight while we have advantage. Exactly. Because then they have to go to the point, and we force a simple fight. Exactly. We want to minimize chaos. We don't want them to do something crazy and one-shot our fucking Cassidy. And by forcing objective, they have to make a choice. They have to fight us on point or give up a lot of meters. And both are good. Right? And if they fight us on point, we win. And if they give us meters, we're also winning the game. Even though we don't have to use anything. Take a clean fight and force the objective. That's the goal. Alright, I'll show you what happens. It's not the cleanest fight, unfortunately. I wish it was, but we do end up winning it. I want you guys to pay attention to where we're going.
Well, yeah, you do make a really good point, actually. Envision. He's not going to get immediate support.
We're on the high ground right now. We have all the advantage.
Right next to them, but
I can guarantee you, I'm calling right now. Let's force the objective whenever we can because we have all the advantage. They cannot fight us on point because they'll win. They'll lose if they fight us on point right now.
Seb now holding on to this.
Right. Okay, we see them use cooldowns.
Doesn't want to use it just
Alright,
yet.
our team. Zomba gets a kill but gets traded. I don't even know what happened here. But we're just taking the point.
A very quick rotation now. No.
We're taking the objective. Now, Extinction is a very rough spot. They can either go to cart and get foxed and get grabbed and die, or they give us infinite meters for free and we win the game passive. And Zomba kill is a good strategy. I do agree. That is a good strategy. Alright, so we're just taking the cart. I wish this was cleaner because I think I get traded, but we're standing on cart. The moment they decide to fight us on cart, we fox. Natsuki dies because he's an inter.
There is going to be a rush on the
boom,
right now,
fox on point, grab on point. We win the fight and we get like, I don't know, 50 meters. I'll say that's a good fight for us. Wouldn't you agree?
But met death.
It's a triple digits now. Extinction just said no entry point. I mean,
look how far we're getting the cart just because we forced objective. Because we have better ults. So we had ult advantage and we converted it. Why are we treating Zomba like a Pokemon? Holy 50-meter profit, exactly. So now that Extinction has ult advantage, they should force objective next fight then. Probably. Well, actually, Ag, good question. We'll get into that now. So, we just talked about, hey, converting your ult advantage. Step 1, realize you have ult advantage. Step 2, tell your team to take a clean fight and hopefully on card. And step 3, profit. Right? So, that's all simple and dandy. But does that mean if we have ult disadvantage, that it's over? Do we just have to sit there and spread our legs? And like, just take it and lose? Surely there's something we can do, right? Surely there's something. Right. So I think we can agree that if we have ult disadvantage, if we take a normal fight, we lose. Correct? Can we agree on that? We just saw it, kinda. By forcing objective, that doesn't just mean 5-stack on point, right? No. It doesn't mean 5-stack on point, but it means at least putting some pressure on it. Put your tracer on the objective so they have to touch. Put your tank on the cards so they're pushing and take an angle to support it. Like, don't just stand 5-stack on point, obviously. They'll probably lose you the game. But put some pressure on the objective to get progress. In whatever way possible. So you still need angles in positioning. Exactly. That shit doesn't go out the window, but we're just really talking about just the old state. So like, I'm not focusing on it right now. So you still need to take good angles and positioning, but we need to put some pressure on the card and continue. All right, back to it. We have all disadvantage. If we take a normal fight, we lose. I see a couple of yeses in the chat, so I'm assuming we can agree on this. All right, my favorite comm that I think Zeb does whenever we're playing with Sakura, when he realizes that we're at all disadvantage, or I tell him we are, he'll say, "We need to do something. Bring that right now. 3, 2, 1, run it down." Like we're just literally running it down, man. If we play normal, we'll lose. So let's not play normal. Let's do something fucking funky. Let's do something stupid. Let's hide behind. Let's hide with the blossom. Let's put our cat somewhere or something. Let's do something crazy. Let's flank. Let's put some tempo on them. Catch them off guard. Spawn camp them. Get slimy. I swear, if you guys are ever realizing you're in an ult disadvantage, one of your options is to make a play. Right? And you can tell your team, you can instantly give them direction. A normal fight will lose us. Therefore, guys, we're at all disadvantage. Let's make a play. Okay, this is very important. Well, this is free elo, okay? You're a main support player right now. You're usually not the guy that can make a play. What you can do is say, hey, yo, DPS players, we need to play. Do something crazy. And you can feel the moment you say that. You should try it. You should really try it in your next scrim. You can feel your DPS's eyes light up. They light up with fire because they're like, oh shit, I get to do something fun now. I can do something crazy. I get to do something fun now. And they'll light up and they'll get super creative. And they will make the fight button. From there, they can take it over. It's only your job to like instantly give them that direction. Like, hey, we need to do something real quick. Right? How do I get my DPS to make a play without inting? Alright. Good question. Obviously, if you make a crazy play and make it messy, that comes with inherent risk, right? You're still not favored to win the fight if you make it crazy. But at least you're giving yourself a shot to win, right? You're taking risks, right? You're making something crazy happen. So how to get your DPS to do that without inting? You got to figure that out yourself. But at least something needs to happen, because I can guarantee you, like, how many people? There's 73 people in this call right now. I can look at 70 people scrims, 70 maps of every single one of you, and I can guarantee you that there's at least 2 fights in there where we're at all disadvantage, and I just see 5 people jerking off on card doing nothing, just waiting to take it and waiting to die. So how do you make a play on main support in this situation? You don't. Kai, very important. You don't, but you tell your team to do so, because you're the one that is ult tracking, but you're not a calculator. So you realize, hey, we need to do. You're the first one to realize in your team, we need to do something crazy. So tell your team to do something crazy. Like, your characters usually don't have something to go crazy, but like your team does. You need to tell your team to make a play, or like do it together. What's your favorite funny play? I think my favorite is just like Zeb will just call, let's do something brain dead, and then I'll just amp him in, and we just straight line it down mid and take a lot of attention, and then we just pray Zomba or Extend or Z just, you know, don't get noticed and get a kill. But flanking works, hiding works. There's a lot of ways you can do about it. All right. I actually have an example of one of my scrims from the other day. I'm currently scrimming with the Dutch team, or at least it's not the official Dutch team. We're just kind of trialing people. We're kind of just like practicing. It's like a community thing. We're getting people together to see, you know, for World Cup already. So okay, we take a fight. It's 2-2 on. Can you guys see my screen by the way? You can see the They didn't invite me to the team. I mean, were you at Pugs? Were you there at Pugs? You know, you could have impressed at Pugs. Either way, I'm going to show you a clip, and you can hear my comms. My comms are on. I recorded this like this week, I think, specifically for this purpose. So hopefully you can hear it. We're about to win a fight. It's 2-2, and they're at 90%. All right, listen to what I'm saying, okay? Again, this is the context of, hey, I'm about to realize after we win this fight that we're down in ults, and you can notice my first reaction is to give direction to my team that something crazy needs to happen. If we stand in main and play a normal fight, we will lose. Alright, let's listen. Grab. Shoot Zara. Okay, bad news. They have Fox and Clock. We have to make a play here. Hear it? Fight's just over. I already knew what was gonna happen. Bad news. They have Fox and Clock. We have nothing, if you can see. Let me scroll back a little bit. Okay, bad. We have only Clock. They have Fox and Clock. If we play a normal fight, and they get the point with their Fox, we lose. News, they have Fox and Clock, we have to make a play here.
Yeah.
Let's go into their spawn, like me and Snow go right side, you guys go main or something, let's do something crazy.
Yeah, just make a good lane, bro. Get cool.
You guys hear it? We need to do something crazy. Fucking, I don't know. Drop, just fucking flank to me right side, everyone else play main, and just make something happen. So, you know, this plan might work, it might not. But I do know that if we stand still, we'll lose. So, do you notice how I'm instantly giving direction to everyone? Like, hey, let's do something. Are you ult tracking mid fight to be able to say that so quickly? I think I was doing it while we're cleaning up. I was realizing I kind of knew the state already in my mind that we're going to be down. So yeah, I kind of did track mid fight, or at least I just followed up from the first fight. But this was very fast. Don't get me wrong. Like, your ult track shouldn't always be this fast. I just instantly knew that like this was going to happen. So that's why I took the example as well. But yeah, do you see like how I'm instantly giving direction? I'm not just saying, hey, they have Clock and they have Fox, because that would lose us the fight on the spot. We're giving direction. That's the whole point of this one, right? Okay, I'll show you the fight, because actually it doesn't really work, but we still end up winning the map. How you make this play? You can do it infinite ways. You can put your Kiri on the flank. You can hide your Reaper in their corner. You can sprint it down main with your Zarya. There's infinite ways to go about this. That's up to you and your team to figure out, like, hey, this play worked, this play didn't work. Let's get creative another way. Maybe we put Soy in main and have our tank flank or something, or we hide in their spawn and look for one shot on the Lucio. There's infinite ways to get creative and make it messy. But what I want you to take away right now is to at least recognize the state of the game. If we play a normal fight, we lose, so let's do something crazy. And tell your team that. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I can tell you already, you're a better player tomorrow than you are today, if you can do that consistently.
Or you want to go real crazy play?
We're going real crazy. My tank is asking, or do you want to go real crazy? I say yes, I want to go real crazy.
Really early? You guys have to...
Go back.
They're walking.
They're walking on us. We're fighting. Oh,
I'm walking.
absolutely.
3, 2, 1.
Can you go in?
I see.
No! We kill him. We start up split, and then we lose. We get some trades, and we actually do winning the game. But, like, the play itself didn't work, but that doesn't matter to me right now, you know? I want us to realize that we should be doing something crazy. Like, that's not a normal angle for Soy Lucio to take, you know?
Carry on. Sorry one.
I hope that proved the point. I think Buddy gets like 2 trades and we end up contesting and winning, but whatever. Make it messy, okay? Is there something else we can do? Because we don't always have to make a crazy play. we don't always have to make a crazy play. Yeah, I already tapped one slide forward. You guys are like already seeing the next slide. Dry fight and base ults, force them to use ults. Something tells me the answer is yes, we can do something about it, right? Fight early and kite ults. We're so smart, we already know the answer. Yeah, you guys are so smart. I'm so proud of you. So we can make a crazy play and make it chaotic and get trades and do something crazy. Sometimes that's not the right thing. Sometimes you're actually very close to your own ults. Maybe you think you can build your own ults before going. Or maybe if we play really slow and we kite an ultimate, you know, and then give the space and then we fight later. Like, we can maybe get some extra percentage. I have a really good clip to show you after this, but we can go really crazy and really fast. Or the other way is, hey, we're down in ults. Let's play really slow, okay? Let's not commit. Let's not take a normal fight. don't allow them to fight us, because if we fight them right now, we lose. But we can slowly give them the map and keep shooting them and keep shooting them and farm our old ultimates. And hopefully, when we're doing that, we're also getting extra percentage on the point. And we slowly buy time, and then when we get one of our important ultimates, then we can fight. What is this about? What backline we play? Play a poke comp. It's the only right option here. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that. All right. I have an example here of Toronto Defiant. Okay, so they decided not to do something crazy. They decided to play a slow fight. So we realized, Toronto wins a fight. I don't have the sound on. Can you see this? Can you guys see this? Right? Toronto is fucking nothing. Nightmare of ult Blade. We're at a disadvantage. If we fight right now, who will win? Any takers? Any takers? Toronto Nightmare. This is like stage 4 finals. Yeah. Nightmare will win. Exactly. If we take a fight right now, Nightmare will win. So what can Toronto do? We just talked about it. Toronto could make a crazy play. They could go fast in their spawn and do something crazy. They could. But they choose to do the other option. Because you always have two options. And that is to play slow. Maybe kite an ultimate and really try and farm our own. And why this is very good right now is because they currently have the point. And if they lose, they don't instantly lose the game. So while they're farming ults, they're playing slow, they're also getting point percentage. They're farming their ults, they're not allowing Nightmare to fight them, they're slowly backing up every time. But they will farm their own ults, and then they will fight them when they have to. But until then, they're getting extra percentage, they're getting objective progress, and they're getting ult charge. So like they're trying to get out underneath the big fat foot from Nightmare, which is like their ult economy, Okay, I'll show it, and then I'll go answer some questions.
Around and having more space and more high ground,
so
low ground.
They're down ults, they're gonna play slow. They instantly shoot their spawn.
Also,
to farm the raid.
Farm
their other ults and farm the raid.
You don't always have to hide away from it.
They're
You've
shooting
got a lot
spawn.
of cooldowns to, well, not only cancel it, but also
Alright, notice Nightmare's getting close right now. Toronto's like, oh, we're still farming ults. Let's back up a little bit. We don't wanna fight now.
And their stride,
lose.
now hoping
They're gonna play slow, build some more ults, get some more percentage.
Blade and an orbital raid. They could just use that to force Toronto out of the choke. They
Boom. Back at the map. Do you think Nightmare can win this game now when they have ult Blade and they're all the way in the far of the map? No, they still have to get closer. So, they still have more time to farm the raid. Still more time to build the other ults. And still more time to get extra percentage on the objective. Notice that they were at 0%, by the way, before the fight started, and they're already at 40. They haven't done anything yet. They just slowly backed up. Every time, slowly back up.
be aware of this. They're already spacing back.
Alright, do we want to be pussies forever? No. We just farmed like 60% of our raid. We just got it. Alright, now we can fight. And they also do decide to take a fight when they have ult.
Orbital Ray from Toronto Defiant, so Zara thinks second there for I don't want to go in and get insta-killed. 1 HP.
So they fight, I'll let it play out.
Here comes the Blades. Isolated
ult versus ult Blade, obviously Nightmare wins.
The odds are fall as he got out of range.
Alright, but now,
A good
next fight, they got 64% on the objective. And look at their ults. Boom. Now they're the one with all the advantage, because they played slow and they built all their ults. Obviously they didn't win the fight, but they didn't have to. They could just play slow. Just backed up slowly, farm ults, play super slow. If they use an ult early, we can maybe kite. And then eventually, when we have to fight them, when we get our ult, we can fight. If you have any questions about this, feel free to ask now, because it's not super difficult, but it is pretty hard to grasp sometimes. So like if you have any... Alright, Uncontinued asked, why couldn't you do this on the Servasa scrim? I'll tell you. On the Servasa scrim we just watched before, it was 2-2, and the enemy team was already at 90%. So if we lose one fight, we lose the game. And in this Servasa thing, we were not close to any ultimates. We were like 10% on everything, except clock or something. So even if we play slow, we wouldn't actually get to our ult. So like, we didn't have any ults, we were not close to any ults we could farm for. And if we lose one fight, we lose the game. So we didn't really have a choice. We needed to win that fight. Would using the ult like Toronto did be the type of thing where they need a kill on the raid like now to or they lose the fight? Yeah, they were probably like they knew they were still down. They were probably still trying to trade with the raid. But that's not really the point. The point is more like, hey, look how much they got from just playing slow and farming their ults and then fighting very late. Like pushing far up, farming ults, backing up, fighting a little bit more, backing up, fighting a little bit more, fighting up, and then eventually they get their ults and they can fight. If Servasa, if it wasn't 2-2, would you have taken a slow fight then? Uncontinued? Good question. We could have, but we might not have. Again, I wanna tell you, it'll depend on situation to situation, and maybe later we can go over some more examples. And I think we will, because we're gonna go a little bit more in depth later. But the most important thing is that you have to realize there's usually two options, and as a main support, again, you want to give direction, right? So we're ult disadvantage. We have two options. That's the key takeaway. First of all, realize whether we're up ults or down ults. If we have ults, if we have advantage, take normal fights and force start, like we talked about. And if we have disadvantage, we either go super crazy and risky, or we play slow. We farm our ults. We maybe kite one of their ults. Those are the two options you have. Some are better in some scenarios. Sometimes both are okay, right? But I just want you to realize that you have those two options available to you. And if you're your main support and you want to actually give direction and not be a calculator, oh shit, we're at no disadvantage. Let's do something crazy and risky, right? And then your team does something crazy and risky. If it doesn't work, you can always look at it after and say, all right, maybe actually we were close to our Fox. We could have maybe played for our Fox instead. But that's just practice, like realizing which one is better when. But just realize you have two, and just pick one you think is right, and practice. Right? Give direction. Try and practice that in your scrims. Is your team's mechanical ability confidence ever a factor in playing messy versus playing slow? Not really. If you're not confident to win a fight, if you're having mechanics withhold you from making the right play, it's like, yeah, it's not going to win you the game. You always got to be confident that you can win a fight, or like that your players can do the job when you make a fight plan. So if you're close to ults, play slow, and if not, just go crazy. That's one way to put it. Soup. I think it's a little bit more complicated. There's a lot of factors that go into it. We will go into some of them later, but I cannot explain them all to you right now. But that's a very rudimentary way of understanding it. Yeah. So that if you're just starting out, that's something you could fight. Oh, hey guys, we're down ults, but we're close to a bunch. Let's play a little bit slow until we get them. Boom. If they use something before we get them, let's just run away. But make sure we play slow and not committed. Let's not actually take the fight now. Let's pretend a little bit. Shoot our guns. Or maybe if you indeed see we're not close to any ults, or we only have one, into their free. We only have Blade and they have 3 ults. Okay, let's go crazy. Hide our Genji behind and let's just try and one-shot the Lucio before he gets beat off or something. I don't know. So both could be fine in a lot of scenarios. Just I want you to know that you have two options, and I want you to realize and practice. I want you guys to practice realizing when you're in that scenario, and then giving direction in one of two ways. Doesn't matter which way. Are there instances where you'd normally play slow, but the correct play would actually to be play crazy? There probably is a bunch. I don't think I have any of them instantly line up for an Yukai, but yeah, exactly. Again, it doesn't really matter which one you do. I just want you guys to realize that it's a possibility, if that makes sense. How do you recognize when to do these things? Is it purely an ult tracking? So, Selma, good question. How do you recognize these things? I think, if I go back all the way in my slides, that if you want to give direction in your, if you're a good main support, you're not just being calculating ults, you're trying to give direction. So instead of just blurting out what ult percentage they have, you're trying to give a direction. So you're trying to read the game state. You're trying to read, hey, do we have advantage or disadvantage? That is step one. I don't even care about what ults they have. I want you to start practicing, hey, we have advantage. What should we do now? What do we do with it? How do I tell my team to use that advantage? So to answer your question, how do you recognize these things? Just practice. Is it purely on ult tracking? Yeah. If you track ults, we have 4 ults, they only have 1. We have ult advantage. Oh, we just used 4 ults, and we have nothing left, and they probably have 2 or 3. Okay, fuck. We're at ult disadvantage. What do we do now? I mean, hopefully, what do we do now? Well, hopefully the answer is, let's do something crazy, or let's play really slow for our own ults. How do you take advantage of your advantage? Just force fight on point? I mean, I'll go back to the takeaways. Because yeah, take straightforward fights because you're supposed to win them. Let's try and make sure the enemy team doesn't make it crazy, and get objective progress. So yeah, that's one of the main ways to do it. Again, ult advantage, play normal fights, force objective progress. Ult disadvantage, do something crazy, or play really really slow and kite. Is disadvantage and advantage solely determined by the number of ultimates, or do you also consider what kind of ultimates your opponent has? Yes, the kind of ultimates are also important. And again, if you're practicing this a lot and you're getting a little bit better, then you're also, turning it into the things we did at the beginning, where it's hey, do we have to play close or far? Do we want to play on the point or off the point? We might have more ultimates, but if our ultimates are Bola and Pulse Bomb, and their ultimate is a sim wall, then they can very much win that fight still. Like it's kind of equal, you know. So yeah, like what kind of ultimates have also take in consideration. And if you're a little bit more advanced and you're a little bit better and you've practiced it a bunch, that's stuff that you're gonna work on a little bit later. I'm just trying to get the basics through right now, if that makes sense. What role does your tank play in the decision-making progress? If they're IGL? Good question, Luna. I think if you're the main support and you can give them direction, say, hey, something crazy needs to happen, he can take it from here. If you tell him, hey, our ults are better close range, so let's get close, so then they get a free noon. You tell that to your team, and then your tank, if he's the shot caller, he can say, oh, okay, let's go left then, because that is way more close space. That's way better for us. But you're the one that initially gives the drive, and then he can figure it out, or whoever IGLs in your team. So you act as a guide for your tank to call shots. Kinda. I wouldn't say it's a guide. Like I'm really trying to convince all of you that as a main support, it's really important to give direction, right? You're always going to be the first one to realize whether you're up ults or down ultimates, right? So if you know that, and you know what to do with it, and you tell your team, then they can make it work from there. Like you tell, hey, we're down ults, we need to make a crazy play. That's not a fight plan, make a crazy play. That's not a fight plan at all. But then maybe your DPS or your tank will be like, oh, we need to do something crazy? Okay, let's do this. Let's go right. Let's hide in this corner. Let's do something funny. Speaking of ults, how do you recover as a team for the next fights after someone Ajaxes a critical ult? Again, you don't really think about the last fights, but you just take the next fight as they come. You fucked up, you Ajaxed, you lose a fight because you don't get your beat off on King's Row B and you're about to lose your land spot because of it. If you watch that clip back, I'll show you. I went Weaver because I didn't beat the counter the grab again, so I try to pedal people out of the grab. Like you just go to the next fight. It doesn't really matter what happened next. You just take the fight as they come, realize you have disadvantage, do something about it. All right. I hope. All right. Again, key takeaways. Figure out whether you're in advantage or disadvantage. If you're ult advantage, take normal fights because you're going to win them and force objective progress. If you're ult disadvantage, take crazy risky fights or play really slow. Both options are possible. I just want to make sure you have both. All right. And now we're going to go into something what I would consider a little bit like a little bit higher level. Okay? Like if you can do all the things we talked about before, then I think you're already an incredible main support. You're already doing a lot of things really right. And you're actually giving more value than just existing and being a calculator. All right? Now we're going to go really fast, especially for the people that are currently in Face It Masters or maybe even an expert somewhere. And you feel like you made all those things we talked about before your own. And that can take time. You don't have to do it instantly. We're going to go in some really nitty-gritty stuff, okay? Which might be the difference between a Funny Astro or a Natsuki and a Face It Master main support, So we've talked about whether you want to fight close or far, whether you want to fight on the point, off the point, whether we have ult advantage or disadvantage. But ult advantage is not the only thing that matters, because in some examples you see, map control is also very important. Does people know what I mean by map control? If we have map control, what does that mean? Can someone try and explain? Space, yeah. Angles, we got the angles, more space that we can use. Yep. We can choose where to fight on or run, if that's your name. We choose where to fight. That's exactly what I mean. We just want to fight, and now we get to decide what we want to do, where we want to go. Do we want to fight at the choke, or do we want to play far? Well, we have the initiative. We can decide where we want to fight, and that's very important because that means if we can play wherever we want, and let's say we need to make a crazy play, that's going to be way easier for us because they have to walk out of spawn and get, and we in the meanwhile get to do all kinds of crazy shit. We can hide, we can flank around, we can fight at set up at the chokes because that would maybe be good for us, or we can play really far if that's better for us. Does that make sense? So map control is really important, not just whether we have more ults or not, but also what we can do with it. All right. So I'm going to show you. I try to simplify after a fight when I'm ult tracking what happens in my brain. Okay. And I made a 4-quadrant graph of 4 options that usually happen in a game of Overwatch. And then it's my job to figure out in which quadrant I am and then what to do. That might sound a little intimidating, but it comes down to Do we have ult advantage or ult disadvantage, like we just talked about? And do we have map control or do we have no map control? Those are the two variables I think about when I'm ult tracking. And when I want to give direction, okay? This is the quadrant, okay? So, if the game state currently is in this graph, or in this part, is that good or bad for us? If we have ult advantage and we have map control, that's good. That's huge. Exactly. That's really good for us. What about if it is here? We have ult disadvantage and no map control with the retake. Anti-epic. Yeah, that's really hard. This position is really hard to get out of, okay? Because now we have ult disadvantage, but it's also really hard for us to make a crazy play and hide because we also have to still walk out of spawn, you know? And they get to decide where to go. So, I hope it kind of makes sense for you guys. When I am ult tracking and like trying to give direction, this is what I think about. These things. Like I'm trying to identify in which one I am. Which one of the quadrants. And then accordingly I'll tell my team what to do. Or like give direction. So that being said, I have a bunch of clips for you. Alright, again, not only ult economy is important, but also if we have map control. Whether we can set up wherever we want, or whether we have to retake very difficult. Right? So let's start with one of the quadrants, okay? Because this is basically what I'm asking myself every time I ult track. Alright, let's start with a great example. And we kind of been over it a little bit already, but I'll have some cool examples for you, okay? Let's start in this quadrant, okay? We have map control, but we have ult disadvantage, okay? Does anyone remember the clip we just watched of Liquid? Where they played really slow, and they backed off, and they shot their guns, and they backed off, and they shot their guns, and they farmed their ultimates. Really, really hard, right? In that example that I just showed, before, they had map control, but they were at ult disadvantage, so they played really slow, and they backed up slowly, and they backed up slowly, and they gave the map, and they backed up slowly. Would your screen clip count? It wouldn't. It will be a different scenario, September, but hopefully it is recorded, and I'll show some other examples later, so don't worry too much about it. But they had map control, and they could just play really slow and farm their ultimates, because they could play where they want. They could run away, because they had the whole map, so they could run away a lot. Does that make sense? Alright, the other scenario is, the other thing you can do, we have map control and ult disadvantage. Let's make a crazy play. Okay? I'll show you how that looks like. Okay? Alright. We can see my screen. We can see the Genji on the screen. Let's do a quick ult track together. Okay? Toronto Defiant. Just lost the fight. Have to come out of spawn. 4 ultimates. Nightmare. This is one of the... You might even recognize this clip. It's a very, very famous clip, actually. Seeker only has noon. Alright. We're Nightmare right now, right? We have the map control. But we have map control, but we have no ults. Minus ults. Right? So... do we win a normal fight? Probably not, right? So I can guarantee you, either Admiral or anyone else in this VC is screaming on top of our lungs, we need to do something crazy. We don't have any ults we're close to. If we take a fight here, we're gonna lose, okay? So let's do something crazy. That's the call they made, okay? Up in ults, but there's no map. Exactly. But like, let's see a perspective from Nightmare right now, okay? We have map control, but we don't have ults. So we need to either farm them and give the map, or we need to do something crazy. They decide to do something crazy because they know they're not going to get to their ults because they have 0%. And, you know, they can do something now because they can set up wherever they want. So let's just watch what they do, okay? They recognize this instantly. Hopefully Admiral told them instantly, oh, hey, we need to do something crazy. So what did they do? Let me turn this on.
Up in a to-go box. 3 ultimates from Toronto, though, moving into the next fight with the rally coming online.
Uh-oh.
Rather cheeky.
What is happening right now? Something crazy is happening, I'll tell you that much. Right? They make it messy. They instantly said so. Right? So instead of just standing on point and like taking it up the ass, they're like, okay, we need to do something about this. Fucking, let's do something crazy.
In the back line.
Wow, your Cassidy's gone, GG.
A Cassidy, the old play, you call that. Jump back to 2016
right?
Real quick. Flash, fan that hammer, Merit dead. 4v5 as the point is being captured now.
Okay, and they win this fight eventually. Okay, so, back to the example, okay? We don't have ults, but we do have map control. What does that mean? We have the space of the map to make a crazy play, you know? We get to hide in that corner simply because we get to set up wherever the fuck we want, right? We make it crazy. But the map control is very important because that helps you. That helps you, like, hide and do some crazy shit. Does that make sense? Okay, I have another one for you. Unfortunately, this one fails. It's the same match. Again, Nightmare have the point. They have the space. They can set up wherever they want. But they're down ults because Toronto is going to get both their DPS ults and we have fucking nothing. Right? People don't remember this one, but it's the same map. So what do we do? We're down ults. Let's do something crazy. Let's hide in some fuck-ass corner nobody's gonna check. Let's go crazy. They're down ults, but they have the map. So what do? They just fucking put their cast in a fuck-ass corner. Again, if it's another comp, maybe you're playing Kiri Soij, maybe the Kiri can hide. Maybe the Reaper can hide in the corner with Blossom. Maybe your Soij can flank with Clock. There's a lot of ways to make it crazy. I'm just saying the fact that you have the map available to you makes it a lot easier to do so. Right? So I'll show you. This one actually fails. But at least he tries, you know? He's trying to make a play.
Natural cover, still got the kills, even when he didn't get the dash resets. Zero.
They walk here, there's still the noise here. Now he gets found, he doesn't get the one. But it was close.
Deadeye from Merit.
Nice spear there, isolating Merit. I mean, he's trying to get kills. Seeker just can't find anything.
Gee Willikers, I hope there's no Cassidy in the corner. I would like to cap this point. Exactly. Alright, so I had some questions. If we have map control and we're ult disadvantage, boom, 2 options. We play slow and we farm, or we make crazy plays. All makes sense, right? They're all pretty easy because we can use our map control to do those things. We can hide in corners, or we can like slowly give the map and build our routes. So that makes sense? That's the 2 options you have? Does that make sense? Fair for everyone? If not, feel free to ask questions. Alright, now let's put us in the shoes of Team Liquid, okay? And this is very, very important, especially once you start getting the hang of like giving direction a little bit more. It is very important that you also flip the script. Now we're here, okay? Let's flip this. We're Liquid right now. How do you counter the enemy making it crazy? All right. So when we defend in hybrid, we always have map control. Yeah, because we get the setup wherever we want to run. Exactly. All right. Oh, sorry, Toronto. Liquid, same fucking team, bro. We're Toronto right now. We're playing against this Nightmare team, and you know, I'm the main support. Okay. I just realized. Wait, let me actually pull the clip up. Let's look at it from the other perspective. Okay. We're in the other position right now, okay? We are now Toronto Defiant, okay? We have a lot of ults, but we have no map control. What does that mean? Can anyone give me an estimation? What does that mean to us? Like, for our purposes, that means we are here, in this quadrant. We have ults, but we don't have map control, okay? We have power, but we don't have space. Play point. Yeah, if we get the point, that's really good for us, because then they have to fight us. Exactly. We want to take a normal fight. Again, we have ult advantage, so we want to take normal fights. Our lost con is enemy crazy play or flank. Fletch OW707, you get it. You get it. If I am Toronto right now, I am shitting my fucking pants. I'm fucking Vega ult tracking right now. I'm screaming. We have ult advantage. Careful. Watch out. Where are they? Where is Seeker hiding? Where are they? Please. We can't. Like, they're gonna make it crazy. Be careful. Do not walk out the spawn alone. Scout where they are. Like, we need to make sure they can't make it crazy. Like, be so careful. Scout your corners. Please check your corners. If I get one shot because you don't look at your corner, I'm gonna flame the fuck out of you. Please. Does that make sense? We talked about it before. We want to make it a normal fight. We don't want this to become a crazy fight where Seeker hides in a fuck-ass corner and wants us one backline. That's the last thing we want to happen, because that's how we lose, you know? So, if we know that if we have ultimates, so we have ult disadvantage, if we know that we have to make it crazy, that also means that if we have ults, but we like don't have the map control, that they are going to make it crazy. They're gonna be the crazy ones. So we need to be ready. We need to be ready for them to be crazy. Does that make sense? Find this fuck-ass cast, bro. Like, we cannot let them get away with this. We need to be aware that they might make a play. As much as we would recognize, hey, we should make a play here, we also need to now think, hey, one step further, we have better ults. They are gonna make a play. Watch out. You know? Don't you also need to be ready to expect a slow fight? Exactly. But if you see them play slow, you can move up. If you all see them 5 in main playing slow, you can move up. But the main part is that you have to be very careful. Yeah, they can do both, exactly. But the fact that they can make a play, if you don't call at all that they could make a play, then you're just going to do what Toronto did and die to the cast hiding in the fuck-ass corner. The slow fight is less immediately dangerous, so the crazy is the initial focus. Exactly, Vernader. All right, does that make sense? Do we understand that, like, if we have ults and they don't, that they're probably going to make a play? Again, we want to get to the objective, and force a normal fight because we have ults, right? Like we want to take a normal fight and force objective because we have ult advantage. We talked about this. But we also need to be careful, like, hey, think one step further. They are at a disadvantage, so we need to be fucking very scared. Very scared. Right? Make sure we don't get fucking flipped on, you know? Does that make sense, hopefully? Like, we want to minimize our risk. I like to move on. If they make a crazy play, is it bad generally to use your ults, not on objective? It's fine. If they fight you, you can fight back. Even if it's not an objective. Just make sure you actually kill them. Make sure they're not baiting. But that's why it's so important. You tell your team, hey, you realize, hey, team, they might make a play. Open your fucking eyes. Where are they? Are they hiding? Do we see them all main? Let's not get, we have all the advantage. Let's make a normal fight. Let's make sure they can't do something crazy. Okay? Or like, at least be aware that they're doing something crazy so we don't die to it instantly. Using this information to throw my rank daves on Genji. Nice. Love that. Alright. Let's talk about the easier ones. We're in this column, okay? We have all the advantage and we have map control. That's very good for us. Is this applicable to all SR ranges? It is, but if you're lower rated, I would start at the beginning of on the seminar and then work your way up. Because this is stuff that good players will do, but like maybe at your SR, they won't even make plays yet, Like really take it step by step and make sure you just focus on what you need to be doing first. Which, the start of this seminar was a lot more easy than this stuff, So don't feel bad if you feel like you cannot follow it all. It will come with time, We can first, there's like 20 slides before this where like there's other stuff you can practice first. We talked about this before. We have ult advantage and we have map control, okay? We talked about it. If that's the case, we want to force the objective. If they're on the card as well, they will lose. Because simply, they cannot fight you because we have better ults. Listen in, Sakura versus Nightmare playoffs. You don't hear my ult track because it was like before the listen in, but listen to what Zeb says here. Okay? It's very important. Alright, ult track, we have a lot of ults. They wasted their Fox. So then in Fox, they only have Beat and maybe Bola. So we're at ult advantage. Okay? So we realize instantly, and like you can hear what Zeb says, you can realize, hey, we need to force the objective. They cannot fight us on point, and we'll just get progress. If they fight us on point, we win the fight. If they don't, we get the card all the way to the end.
Your heads right now.
Okay. Listen to what Zeb is saying. I already ult tracked, like before they tune in. But listen to what he's saying.
We have to play the objective, okay? Just shoot the
Okay, they're Genji. They're gonna play the
We can greed the objective so hard.
Okay.
They can't match it.
I'm just playing.
We can greed the objective so hard. They cannot match our Fox. They have to give it. Right? That's the things he's saying. You could be doing this as a main support too. In this case, Zeb is doing it. But the more important thing is, we realize we have ult advantage. We have Fox, and they don't. So if we just push the card, they eventually have to fight us, because otherwise they lose the game. But if they fight us, we win. Does that make sense? Pretty simple, no?
I'm just playing to catch Genji engage. I wanna rush up the.
Genji's right side. Swing this wrist, she's by herself if you can.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Orisa half.
Chase this spin, chase this.
Yeah, they're fighting us, they use cooldowns, now we're fighting. Alright, it's a curriculum then, not just one lesson, kind of. Yes, it is kind of a curriculum, low-key. I'm just trying to give you as much information, all that information that I have, that, like you can use this like even later, and like you can step in wherever you want. If you don't do the initial things we talked about first, then we can focus on that, okay? And if you're, currently in Faceit Masters, then maybe this is better for you. Alright. We realized we have all the advantage and we have control, so we just force the objective. They cannot fight us. If they fight us on card, we just kill them with their ults. Simple. Right? More importantly, another thing you have to realize, if you have everything you want, you have a really good position, you have everything you want in the world, is that you don't want to over ult. That is the second thing we need to do. It's very easy, but if you know they don't have a lot, and you do, make sure you don't give the advantage away. I have an example of TM. Let's look at the ult track. We have Symbol. We have Bomb. We're gonna get clock mid-fight. Twisted Minds are fucked. They used everything. They have 0. They have 0. What does that mean? That means, and we want to fight, so we can set up wherever we want. We have map control. And we have ult advantage. What does that mean? Anyone? What does that mean? We have map control, ult advantage. What do we want to do? Free win. Exactly. But what do we want to... Just play point. Just clean fight. Force point. Force objective. Get progress. Don't overspend. Okay, exactly. So, notice how we're at 18 meters right now, okay? And Alcacia realize they're in a really good position. right? So they're gonna force the objective, and they're not gonna overspend. Okay, watch this. It's beautiful. It's actually, I think this is beautiful. This is beautiful Overwatch. They realize Twisted Minds have nothing, so that means they can probably only win with one ultimate. They started 8. Oh, let me do this out.
Directly on past him.
They realized they're in a really good position.
By that Ramatra.
They're forcing the objective.
So now Alcatia.
Twisted Minds
Let's see though.
is trying to fight them.
They set up one of these, like, maybe they go with a Sim TP with a bomb. A la Twisted Minds when
They're
they
trying to fight them, but they can't. Because they know if they fight them really hard, they get symboled and they die.
play these.
So it's really hard. So they force objective even more.
TP around.
They force
here,
objective even
getting
more.
Lambda into a better
Twisted Minds
position.
can't touch.
Lambda gets a bit of space, but doesn't want to swing wide.
They start fighting, boom, one ultimate. They know they can't respond with anything else, because they literally have nothing. So they only use the one ultimate
now
to
from
fight.
checkmate. Something to work with. Twisted Minds, no ultimates, just have to outplay with the
Cards
Sim
moving.
TP. They've
Cards
almost
moving.
done it, but Landon somehow takes the head
They
off
won the
of
fight,
Yubi.
and the
that
cards
leaves
moving.
TBNT hung out to dry. Twisted Minds, forced.
They only use one ult. They still have ult advantage for next fight. They get Fox at the same time, and they have Clock, and they have Bomb. They still have ult advantage. So what happens? Same thing.
into a desperate
They're just gonna force
stack
the
onto
objective.
cart, and Castilla will retake the lead.
It is their best ult, to be fair. But
They get
they didn't give it away.
as
They
well.
just played the cart.
They don't
they
have
played
to
a
use
normal
anything
fight.
there.
They got
outside
objective
of the
progress.
sim wall.
That's all they needed.
UB
And now they can do the same thing for the second time in a row.
Flank around, past the wall, maybe trying to set up like a little bit of a pinch.
Just put Diva on cart,
UB
everyone else
gets
just
caught early
fight normally.
on. Simple has the rush, but no way you're investing it in that type of scenario. Down your sim yet again. 2 fights in a row.
Boom.
They
Okay,
lose
they fight us on
early.
cart, they use form.
OC comes
We're
out.
clocking now.
TBNT
Boom.
just can't get the resource. Everyone
They can't
hiding.
respond to anything.
This Sojourn has been on
if they
fire
Fox, we
this
also
map.
Fox.
This has been Lambda's turn to take
Cards
over
moving.
a game.
They take normal
Delivering
fights.
heroic
Nothing
performance
crazy happens.
when it was
They
needed
push
most.
the cart. They
And
push the
TN
cart.
now, falling behind. They may have more better maps in this series, but right now, Katsuya showing real signs of life, real fight in this series.
Only now. Only now. From 18 to 99 meters. The Twisted have something to answer to Alcatia. So look how much progress they got just by realizing they're in a good position and just pushing the cart. And not overspending. Not instantly popping 2 because they get scared. Knowing that how far up they are. Guys, we have 3 ults, they have nothing. We'll probably only need to use 1 or 2. That's all the direction you need to give to your team. And you're going to be a better team for it. Alright, so force objective, get that progress, try not to overult. That's all you need to do. So again, when you're ult tracking, realize in what quadrant you are, you know? Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? And then tell your team what to do based on that. And I'm not saying this is easy. This is not easy at all, but it's good practice. You know, you start somewhere slow, and then hopefully over time you can recognize the state of the game and tell your team what to do and guide them to what the right play is. And then you can make a fight plan. Your team can make a fight plan. How does this change if you're in dive beam? It does in the sense that maybe you want to take fights in different positions and stuff, and maybe pushing cards a little harder, maybe put your tracer. But it doesn't change in the fact that like you're still gonna have times where you are down ults and you need to make a play, or you're up ults and you just want to get as much meters about it from possible. You know, force the card, force the enemy team to touch, and then you can kill their backline with your ult. It does change things, but I don't think it's like relevant to the scope of like this seminar. If that hopefully answers your question a little bit. Lastly, we're gonna be in the bad position. Okay. Again, this is all I'm gonna talk about ult economy, and then we're done. We're in the dumps. We're in the dumps, team. We don't have ults, and we don't have map control. We have to retake. What do we do? Any suggestions? And I already spoiled the answer, maybe. Cry is a good one. Sparise, you said get crazy. And I agree, you might be able to get crazy, but that is really hard because we don't have the map. Like we have to retake, we're walking out of spawn, you know? It's not like we can hide somewhere. So that's really hard. That's why it makes it so hard. Because we can't use our map control to, you know, make a play. We either need to play super slow and farm all our ults, or we need to do something, a fast fight, okay? And again, this position is really hard to get out of there. You just saw Twisted Minds just get pushed 100 meters because they were in this position, you know? It's really hard to get out of, you know? But there's some things you can do, and I'm gonna show you some examples of how you can get out underneath the foot of the enemy team when they're, like when you have in a shit position, okay? I hope you guys enjoy this, because I do.
Hold on, man.
Alright,
What else are they gonna have?
okay. Funny Astro, when they were still, this is grand finals on like stage 1, 2024 or something. I want to hear you listen to what he says, okay? Listen to what he says, okay?
Oh, nice strike point. Come. Hold on, man.
Okay, what else are they gonna have? Grab carry. Grab carry. Alright. Grab carry. Ultra grab carry.
Come. Hold on, man.
Okay, what else are they gonna have? Grab and carry. What do we have? Oh, sorry, let me take a different color. Grab Carry. What do we have? We have fucking nothing. Nada. Zero. Right. Okay. So normally, this means fuck. Enemy team is gonna just put their asses on the objective and get a lot of progress. You know, this is really fucking. And we need to farm our ults and stuff. It's really hard. But Funny Astro finds a way. He thinks really, really hard. Okay, and he thinks, hey, they want to just force objective progress, right? Because they're in a better position. But what if? Okay, we can take a fight where they cannot get any progress. Because we can maybe take 2 fights. We can maybe go really fast and force something out of them. But more importantly, in this case,
Grab carry.
grab carry. There's something really important on the screen right now. The point is locked. The point is locked. What does that mean? If they take a fight now, they might lose it because, you know, they don't have ults and they do. But you're going to get ults out of them because you're fighting them. You don't allow them to take a normal fight on the objective, and they're not getting any progress for it. So he's saying, hey, point's not unlocked yet. Let's fucking go. Let's do something crazy. Get some ults out. Because it doesn't cost us that much. Because it doesn't cost us like 100 meters on push. You know? It only costs us like 25% of the point instead. Because we fight so early.
Yeah.
Only
those two.
No one yet, I don't think.
Can we go fast? Hide and go fast.
Do you see the realization of like, hey, we're in a really shit position, but if we fight now, we can just get something for free because the point they cannot force objective yet. Can you hear it in his voice? Can you hear like, oh shit, we need to do something right now?
Carry. Grab carry. Yeah. Only those two.
No one yet, I don't think.
Can we go fast? Hide and go fast. Hide here.
Yeah, surprise.
Oh, they already sold. They already sold.
No, that.
Wrap around.
Can go left, go over left. Can we left?
Yeah.
Come.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're here, right here. Big slash.
All
All one. All are one. Keep fighting.
Drop one. Yeah, it's fine.
Come on again.
We go one out.
They lose, but
They only have craft window.
they don't lose any any point percentage, and they get out of Fox, which they can't use next fight, and they build some of their own ultras. Now they have their own ult. So that's one way you can figure out, like especially on Flashpoint, is really easy to get out underneath the boot of like being in a really bad position. You know, I hope that made sense. Like we're a really bad position, but if we just take a fight really fast, maybe we can take 2 fights. You know, maybe we lose the first one and get some ults out, but then we can win the second. Right? And one good way to do it is to also stop objectives so that they don't get anything for free. You know, Flashpoint best game mode. I agree. Push checkpoint can do the same. Exactly. There's a lot of ways you can implement this, but you can maybe take 2 fights. The other way, and this is a lot harder, is to bait, the kite, and the farm ults. And I really have a really good example of this, and I really hope because it got caught on. We have no map control. We have no ult advantage. We have a disadvantage. Okay. We want to bait. We want to farm our ults, and if they fight us, we want to kite. That's what we want to do. Okay. Because we cannot take a fight because we lose. But the enemy team can ult charge as well. They might, but they'll get less because they already have more ult. I have a great example from our game against Extinction. And I really hope you guys can see this because it is honestly one of my favorite fights, maybe of all time, when you listen to the comms. Okay? It's a really long listening. Okay, you can see my screen? Can you hear it as well?
Yeah.
Nice. No! Only Fox. Okay. I'm ult tracking right now. You can hear me ult track because we're listening in, okay? This is the official against Extinction in the regular season. Okay? We just won the fight, it was pretty expensive.
Yeah. Nice.
No! Only Fox. They have William ult here. William ult here, maybe Symbol Cloak mid 5. I don't think they have yet. If you listen to me closely, I think they have William ult, and I say they're gonna get these 2. Right? That makes sense. What do we have? Reaper ult only. I think everyone could recognize we're at all disadvantage right now. We only have Reaper ult, they have like really strong ultimates. Correct? So what do we do? Any takers? What options do we have? What are the 2 options we usually have when we're down ult? What are the 2 options we have? There's 2. And I see a lot of play crazy, get crazy, Reaper hide. Farm or play crazy. Farm or play crazy. Okay. I'm gonna give you some real info here. Sometimes you can also try and set up for both and then pick whatever is good. Sorry. We either need to bait some ultimates, play slow and farm ours, or we need to do something crazy with Reaper ult, okay? Okay, now listen to what I say. Because we do realize this. We're a good team, obviously, you know. We kind of have to make a smart play with Reaper, Loki. First thing I say, my first instinct is like, hey, we low-key need to do something crazy with Reaper ult, or we lose, because they're gonna get more ults. That's the first thing I say, as the show caller, right? Or like as the ult tracker. And then Zep goes.
Yeah, or we can kite.
Or we can kite. Wow, boom. It's almost like I just told you that those are the two options, okay? Does that make sense? Two options. We know both exist. Because the card's still here, it might be hard to set up a rebuild. Okay, I'm just gonna play it out first, and I'm gonna go over it again, okay? Get ready. I'm just gonna just listen and enjoy.
I think we got
Yeah, let's try to kite, because then we can save for Reaper Blossom. Driving Page Blossom.
Page Blossom, yes. Page Blossom, yes.
We're like, hey, we can try and make a play with rebuild. X10's hiding here. But we're mainly coming, hey, we can just try and kite. Like, we can just try and kite one. Our comp is really good at kiting, let's kite one. Right? So, if we bait them, and they walk past here, boom, we can make a play with rebuild. Very slimy, very cool. If not, if they just use ults early, we still have all the cooldowns to kite. Good thing we don't have beat here. Fuck you, Luna. It's King for a second. Anyway, so we're very aware that we can make a play with Reaper if the opportunity presents itself, but otherwise, we're just going to kite some ults and farm our own, because we cannot win a normal fight right now, because they just have too much. Okay? So let's see what happens. Okay, I shouldn't.
I'm hiding here,
Yeah. Can we bait them into Ellie?
They should.
Even asking, can we bait them into Ellie or X10? Because then we can get a crazy play with Reaper. We can try and do it. No shield. Don't look up.
It might be peek. Right, yeah, okay.
Ulting if they peek right here. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ellie.
They're going top. Getting good car here.
Kira's going top.
Get ready to kite.
Get ready to kite. Z is doing a good job in saying, hey, remember guys, we still want to kite.
I'm low.
Come on.
Living.
Boom. Block comes out, and because we're baiting, we all run away. We just run away. Like, it's all we can do, because we cannot fight it. So, instead,
Yeah, see now.
I'm not
Boom.
shooter.
I'm good.
we're kiting. We're just out. Boom. Free ult. And we get to build our own ults, okay?
Somebody's left side.
They're gonna wheel out there. Wait for Suzu. They're gonna wheel out there.
Yeah, I think we TP on the Soj, and then we're gonna set it up.
Ready?
Yeah,
Just
3,
talk to me when they're moving all.
No slide, no shield either.
Someone.
live.
You know what? We have all disadvantage, and they give us a symbol. What can we do? Fucking run away, bro. What can we? We're just baiting. They got scared of Zeb's aura, and they just symboled, and now we're just out.
Kite that.
Trying to kite it. I'm good.
Just fight this corner.
Oh.
Where's Soj? I think they're top right.
I'm fighting a Curie TP.
I'm pushing left side, I think. I'm pushing left.
Okay, I'm walking.
Go.
No shield. Give up. Guess what happens now?
It's on Weeying.
Them TP.
That's a third ult. Bye. We run away again.
Shooting ram really hard.
Soj flying.
Sorry. I'm not sure you can. Alright, you get the idea? I mean, this is like the most extreme example you can possibly find, and Extinction played this pretty poorly, don't get me wrong. But you kind of get, like, did you see how everyone was ready? Because we in the beginning said, hey, we can make a play or we can kite. Okay, let's kite. Let's be ready to kite, you know? Let's bait them a little bit. Let's play slow for other ults. And it was much time, but now, if you think about the ults now, boom. We're gonna get Fox, we're gonna get Cage, we have Reaper ult, we have Pulse. We have everything. Now we're in advantage. So this next fight, if we just get on card, boom. We win. We get the checkpoint. Right? Like, of course it sucks to have to like kite for like a minute straight. But on the other hand, like we didn't lose any fights. We just kited every one of them, and now we're out under the boot from them, you know? Now we're out of this really shitty position where we had no map control and no ultimates. And now we don't have map control, but at least we have ultimates. So you guys understand the two options? I'm really trying to hammer down on like you having two options when you down ults, and something needs to happen, you know? Because I really think that's like one of the most important things you can do to guide your team successfully, instead of just ult tracking. You can just say, hey, we need to kite, or we need to make a play. We'll look at this clip a little bit after, but because there's some more, but for now it's okay. Alright. Having said all that, oh fuck, I don't have the full clip. We talked all about giving direction in the pre-fight, right? Do we want to play close? Do we want to play open? Do we want to fight on the point, off the point? Do we want to make a play? Do we want to kite? Do we want to just force objective because we have better ults, right? A lot of stuff. I threw a lot of information at you, and it's going to take you a while to start realizing these stuffs in the game, and then also it's going to take you some time to properly tell your teammates that something needs to happen and give them right direction. It's going to take a while. Like you can take your time, take it one thing at a time. Now, for the really advanced, okay? This is where it gets like you're pretty fucking good, okay? Now you need to do all of that, but you also need to do it while the game is playing itself. So not just before the fight when nothing's happening, Now you're also gonna take what you were saying to your team pre-fight and telling it to them mid-fight. I know that sounds really scary, and it takes a lot of practice because obviously you're also focusing on shooting your gun and not emptying your brains out and taking the good positions and while riding and whatever the fuck, right? But in mid-fights, what I really want you to take away, and I'm gonna keep it short because I had more prepared, but like just really, it's gonna be way too long for everyone. Is all the information you give them pre-fight, remind them of it mid-fight, right? Don't just say it once, say it multiple times if you have to, right? And this is about things. This is about upcoming ults. What ults are they going to use soon? Again, we go back to the example from now. We just saw a great example of us guiding a bunch of ultimates. So we're going to go over this clip again. And I want you to listen to my voice specifically. Only focus on them William ulti, maybe symbol clock mid-fight. Cheers, September. Have a good night. You kind of have to make a slime play with Reaper, Loki. Okay, whatever. Make a slime play or kite, whatever.
Driving a fade blast. I'm hiding it, I'm hiding it.
We know they have this result. Good bait.
It might be yeah. Right, yeah, okay. They're going top, they're going top.
This is where like you can get really creative.
Here's going top.
Like where you need to be really,
I'm low.
really aware. This is really hard, but like I want you to guys know that this is what it takes to be really good. To also do these things and give direction mid-fight and not just before the fight. Although before the fight is a lot easier to practice. So I want you to focus on that.
Living.
Yeah, see me out.
I'm a shooter.
We kite the clock and we use Suzu for it. You know, we're given the map and we use Suzu for it. Hear what I say now.
I'm good. Simon's left side.
They're gonna win. Wait for Suzu. Alright, I remind everyone, hey, they still have Wing ult. Scary. Don't die to Wing ult. And I remind, because we just use Suzu, hey, before we fight again, wait until you see Suzu again, or we insta-die to this. Right? Instant direction. Watch out, this is gonna happen. This is how we deal with it. Make sure we wait a little bit. Clear? Because we knew pre-fight that I had Wing ult. I'm just reminding my team, like, hey, careful, right? We're gonna Wing ult here.
Yeah, I think we TP on the Soj and then we're gonna set it up.
Ready?
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
No shield leader.
Someone live it. Kite that.
Trying to kite the symbol.
Just fight this corner.
Yeah, I could have maybe, we didn't mention the symbol indeed, Malevolence. The Wu was pretty scary because we didn't know Susan. That's why I called it. But in general, I could have also called, hey, also, still guys, watch out symbol. I think everyone knew because the way we're playing, but I could have called that, maybe.
Where's Soja? I think they're top right.
I'm fighting your Curie TP. I'm pushing left side, I think. I'm pushing left.
Okay. I say play for our Fox because we're close to our Fox. Reminding, not just how do we lose, also how do we win. If we get Fox, it's good for us. So let's maybe not fight super hard until we have Fox. But more importantly, I call, hey, they still have Wing ult. Don't walk into the Wing ult and die, because that would be very sad.
Walk in.
No shield, give up. Oh, and we're aware of the Wing ult. We forced it even.
Nice.
And we ran away. We didn't walk. I got him.
Done.
Shooting ramp.
It's still a long fight, so.
Soja's flying.
Okay. Hope that's clear. So keep reminding the people of what's happening mid-fight. And this is hard, but you guys do need to do it. You gotta remind people of what ults are upcoming. Whatever loose cons, don't die to fucking to winning ult. And how do we win? Also very important. If you're Extinction, what is the optimal play in that fight? The optimal play in that fight is to realize that they're up ults, and that before they need to realize the opposite. They need to realize that we're gonna try and kite. So their counterplay was to not let us do that. Maybe they need to force some cooldowns before they actually fight us. If they can force our Mauga pin, that allows us to kite. Then afterwards they can fight us with their ultimates, because we can actually run away. Simply put, remember your DPS players have goldfish brains. This is true. This is true.
I know what you love. I know what you dread.
So yeah, force objective, but they already have the objective. So they just need to not get baited, basically. Something you can call too. If you realize that the enemy team's only option is to kite, hey guys, don't get kited. Make sure we put it, like, you know, force some cooldowns before we ult, because otherwise they're gonna run away. Make sure we're close enough and stuff. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Extinction play that fucking horrible. So that's why it's a good example. They didn't realize what they had to do to win. No flame to Alba, but like anyone on that team could have called, "Hey, watch out! They're gonna try and kite us because they have nothing." All right, I have like one more slide for like mid-fight stuff. Let's just watch it real quick. It's a little bit less clear, but
It's going through the
you got to keep reminding of your lose cons, not just your win cons, not just how can we win, what do we need to be aware of, how do we lose a fight when we're up, okay? So like, if we're taking a good fight, what are they going to use soon? Watch out for the beat. Don't stack, they can still win, they have grab. Focus on soldier, just clock soon. That kind of stuff. So like, if you realize mid-fight that something is very threatening to us, then you need to be the one, as the main support, to call your team, hey, watch out, team. Do not fucking die to this. Anyone can do this, but it's really good to do it as the main support because you're supposed to be the one that reads the fight and like knows what's coming up. I'll give a fight. This is against Nightmare. Is this regular? No, this is playoffs. I think we watched a little bit of this before. Again, we have ult advantage. We're going to force the point. What I'm going to do at some point, I'm going to pause the game because I call, hey, we're 1 up. Watch out, they can still win the beat. And I tell my team, do not run it down main and die to beat here because we're going to lose. You didn't even call lose con SMH. I mean,
your heads right now.
It's out there. It's just
Play the objective, okay? Just shoot the
Okay, they're Genji. They're gonna put it.
We can greed the objective so hard.
Seb's right. We have all advantage. Greet the objective. Take normal fights. We've been over it 1,000 times.
Okay.
They can't match it.
I'm just playing to catch Genji engage.
Skip a little bit.
I also have.
Chase this spin, chase this spin. Use one. Chase this spin.
Rushing. It's gonna rush.
Z instantly realizes they just did what Extinction did and Fox too early and they ran away. So, bit unfortunate. But either way, it might not have been the best rush.
We can win with one.
Look, Lou.
On right side, fire right, go.
Okay.
Nice, we have kill.
Okay.
We have kill.
We have kill. This is very important. What does it mean? We got to kill. What up? What needs to go for our minds right now? We're 1 up. We're 5v4. What needs to go for our minds right now? We have numbers, yeah, we have advantage, but what does it mean? We're 1 up. Don't die. Stabilize. Exactly. Like, we can still lose this fight. Right? It's very easy to get excited. We're 1 up and then run down main and die to their beat. But you need to be the adult in the room and realize that beat is coming up and tell your team. And you don't hear it very clearly, but if you listen to my voice specifically. Did you hear it? Okay, I'm gonna interview that. You have to listen to my voice because I could have made it more clear, but I think we're aware.
Okay.
Nice, we have kill.
They have beat. You can very barely hear it on this comm check. But I do tell my team, hey, they're going to beat here. So do not walk in and fucking die. I don't have to explain that to them, obviously. But I am calling like, hey, the only way we lose this fight is if we walk in and they get a massive beat push and they win the game. So I'm calling, hey, they have beat. Be careful. And then my team. Walk me. Better beat now. And then we get a better beat and win the game. But like the one way we lose that fight or the game is if Nemai's beat is so good that they kill like Extend and Z or something, or kill me before I get my beat off. So we gotta. I know it's very hard and it's gonna take a lot of practice to get there, but you gotta realize that it is important for you to be the adult in the room to call, hey, watch out, we can still lose this. Do not die to grab. Do not stack here. They have grab, watch out, don't stack. Or hey, they beat, watch out, it's coming. That's about all I have for mid fight. Call your win cons, call your lose cons. What ults are coming up soon. We can talk about more if you have questions for it. I think I'm a little exhausted from keeping speaking, so I'm gonna keep it at that. If you have more questions, feel free to ask. But those are things. The things you do pre-fight, you can also do mid-fight, and that's very hard. But once you get the hang of it, hopefully you're able to do that too, and remind your team in the game to win more fights. All right, sounds good. Last thing, maybe the most important, and I want to end on this. If you're gonna practice any of this, if you're getting started and you just want to focus on, hey, do we want to look at our ults? Do we want to play close or do we want to play far? Because we've gone through a lot. Just pick one thing. Pick one thing and practice it. Maybe it's, hey, should we play close? Should we play far? If that's all you do for the rest of the week, boom, make it subconscious, Only practice that one thing, okay? Don't try and do everything at once. One thing at a time. I know it sounds like baby steps, but if you want effective practice, please do it one thing at a time. Feedback, very important. If you're doing this thing for a week, the only way to learn is to look back at it and see if you did it well. And recognize when you did it well. Don't only flame yourself when you do it wrong, only also praise yourself when you do it well. If you went through a whole scrim and you recognize, hey, I feel like I called it so much better when we have ult advantage that we just take a fight on point. I called that so well today. I really focused on it. That's good. But you need to give yourself feedback. It is very, very easy to not VOD because you're going to look at it and think you're shit. But you have to. Malevolence, are you here?
I am.
I'm gonna give you an example, okay? This is very important. This is how the human brain works. Malevolence, we're standing in a room right now. You and me. Like a couple meters or yards apart, okay? I, at full force, throw a toaster at your face. With the intent to hurt you. Alright? I know that this sounds scary. What do you do?
Try to protect my face.
Right. You protect your face or you get the fuck out of the way. You dodge, right? That's what you would do. That's instinctively what your body does, right? Just a reaction. Correct?
Yeah.
Alright. The mind works the same way. Alright? But instead of a toaster being thrown at you, it is your own VOD review shitty gameplay that is being thrown at your face. Right? And your brain will say, no, I don't want the VOD. I don't want to look at it. Because subconsciously, your brain knows it's going to hurt you. So it's trying to protect you. But you got to be better than that. You got to realize that the only way to learn is to go through the pain. So take that toaster to the face and please look at your own gameplay. Or you will not improve. Right? You got that? And then lastly, don't expect to do everything at once. It might take you a week to do one thing on autopilot. Do not move on to the next goal if you haven't made that one thing you're working on part of your autopilot. Like, your basic skill. You should be able to do it like, if you practice something long enough, it'll just become part of you normally. So like even when you're playing ranked at 4 a.m. and you're tired, you will still do the thing you practiced because you practiced it so much that it's become part of you now. And then you move on to the next thing. All right. That's all I have for you. That's all I have for you guys. I hope that was informative. Thank you guys for being awesome and typing so much and asking questions. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think everyone would agree that was pretty great.
I hope so. I tried. I usually don't do any seminars or something. I usually have like either one-on-ones or like team votes and stuff. So like not being able to have people talk back like is a little bit weird, but I hope it was okay. Are you uploading the PowerPoint? Also, thank you so much for the GoTo seminar. I will upload the PowerPoint to you, and I actually have something else for you. If you give me 1 second. Do you guys remember one of the clips I sent you? Like I used of the Dutch team scrim when we made it play. Do you guys remember? Okay. It's like 50. It's like 3 maps. I only recorded like 3 maps. It is very good because it's also a new team. There's a bit of different skill level in that team, obviously. Like, some people are playing Master, some people are an expert, because Netherlands is not a very big country. And we're only just getting started. So a lot of the things I told you today is the things I'm trying to teach them too while we're playing, And especially in between the maps, we're talking about some of the decisions and the plans I made and why. And I think if you have some, if you're on a bike somewhere, you have to drive a car, it might be good to just watch or listen to it and like think about what I taught you today and like think about why. I think it might be informative. So I will. Kran isn't there. Kran was not there that time. I think it was Twoltz playing tank. But either way, it was a good and I put the link in chat right now. I'll probably add it to the VOD too, to the PowerPoint. But it's like unlisted. You can just look at it now, or like you can look at it at some point if you want. It is full English because we had a hitscan ringer, so we actually did come in English, so you can understand it completely. Don't worry, it's not Dutch. I would not torture you with 15 minutes of Dutch. And while I was like preparing and looking for VODs, I also randomly found a VOD I recorded from stage 2 somewhere with Quick. And I thought it was like one of like something I did really well, like a really nice one. It's about a completely different topic. But if you ever want to think about map control and like your DPS angles, then feel free to watch that VOD. It's like a 20 minutes. It's a quick esports VOD I did with my team of like Willis and Dip and like Yoam and Zydra. And it's also it's like 20 minutes. I think you could also learn a lot from that. If you're ever interested, like by all means, like it's unlisted, I think. But yeah, if you ever want to study up or like, that's how a VOD review looks like at the WCS level, I guess. So if you want to look at one of those, then by all means, go for it. Yeah, it would be a good troll if it was all in Dutch. No, it's in English. Okay, so I'll give you the guys too. I'll add them to the slides as well before I share them. There's some good fights in there and there's some bad fights in there. But it's more about like, getting practice with what we discussed today. All right, I'll still be here for a little bit. You guys asked a lot of questions, which I was really happy with because it helped me explain a bunch of stuff. Is there anything else you want to know? Anything that wasn't clear? Anything that's not Overwatch related? Anything that's like, anything you wanna ask? Like I'm still here for a little bit, so feel free to. Are we allowed to DM you? Asking for one-on-ones. Oh, sorry. So what do you say, Malone?
Oh, I was about to say, if anyone wants to come up and ask questions as well, like now's the time. Say like I'd like to come up, whatever. I know everyone's a master comedian. Let's take it easy with the funny, Kings Road 2 jokes we've heard 30 of them so
yeah, I
far.
can take it. I'm 20.
Yeah, I know. But just saying.
I'll have a good laugh. I see a couple questions like how if you can ask for one-on-ones or how much I charge. I don't really one-on-one that much. When I have time, I sometimes do. You can DM me about it if you want. Also, big shout out to Malevolence and Elemental because I didn't want to charge for this seminar initially because I usually don't. I feel a bit bad because I want to give back to the community as well. But instead, the money I was supposed to get for doing a seminar, they donated to a project I run in the Netherlands. I basically host from our local field hockey club. There's a wheelchair division for people that are a little bit physically impaired, and I help them with a bunch of stuff. And that money is just gonna go to helping us with transport of the wheelchairs to game days and stuff, and all that kind of stuff that goes behind the scenes that will make their life a little bit easier. So thank you, Elemental, for doing that. I really appreciate that because it will go a long way. It really will. Yeah, thanks you for hosting me because I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope y'all learned something. So I hope it actually send the link. I'll donate as well. It's not really a link. It's more it's not like a donate thing. I appreciate it. And if you want, maybe if in the VOD, we can talk about it. But yeah, it's just nice that they were willing to do that. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, well, honestly, our pleasure. That was great. But sorry.
Awesome.
Someone from chat is up now.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. I just have two questions for you. The first one is about what I asked at the beginning of the seminar regarding what is a main support's job. You did a good job of explaining what a main support is supposed to do. And somebody in chat has also responded and saying that what a main support is not supposed to do is depending purely on the team. But I'm pretty confident that there is some common ground, and sure, there is the obvious things, but I was wondering if you could maybe add more to it, that is usually unheard of or something like that.
So you're asking about what main supports are not supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I think you can really deduce it from the fact of what I told you today and what I think you're supposed to do, right? I think you're supposed to guide people. I think you're supposed to make your team's life easier by guiding them pre-fight, maybe reminding them of ults that are coming up mid-fight. You're trying to make everyone's job easier. And I'm just talking about the calming stuff now, right? Not the individual micro mechanics and stuff, because obviously you have your role there too. If you could do everything, it'd be nice. You could fucking ult track, shot call, do everything. And there's people that do. But it really depends on the team. I think focusing on what you shouldn't do really depends on the team, because sometimes you have more quiet teams. Sometimes, I know with Quick Esports in Stage 2, I had a really nice dynamic with Willis, because everything I told you today, I think I went over with him, and we were very much on the same page. So anytime I would give direction, he would instantly also know and be ready to build on that. I would be like, okay, we have to make a play, and he would instantly know, and he'd be, okay, we're making this play here, and we're doing it this way. In some other teams, maybe you have to help a little bit more with the fight plan too, but maybe not. Maybe you have a lot of vocal DPS players that do it. So it really depends on the team. I think the most important thing is you focus on what you should do. And that's just try and give concise information that actually gives guidance. Don't just say things because you think you have to say them. You think you have to ult track. I would much rather have a main support that doesn't ult track at all, but tells us, hey, we should play close here, or we should play far here, or we should make a play here, rather than someone that perfectly ult tracks every ult, but then doesn't say anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. As for the second question, I think I'm going to ask at the end of the seminar because it's slightly unimportant. But anyways, thank you for having me up here.
Yeah, cheers. No worries. Yeah, all good.
All right, I'm gonna just read through in order, just trying to keep that. So Karma says, what made you play main support?
What made me play main support? I actually was a flex support way back when I just discovered scrimming. Like, I started playing Overwatch competitively like really late. I mean, I'm 27. Like, I started playing during COVID, so I was like 23, maybe 24 or some shit. Like so like 23, I think. So I was pretty late to the party. I always played casually. I just played support characters generally, most of them. I played flex support for my first team because it was just like what they needed and it was fun. And at some point we needed a main support, and I just started playing some main support, and I had fun too. It's what the team needed, and then I just kind of got good at it. To be honest, that's kind of I just enjoy playing all the supports, but more than all, I just enjoy winning. And if that's that at the time was needed to win, then I was just going to become a main support. Which is funny, by the way, because I swear it might also be a Dutch thing, because like we're obviously doing trials for like Dutch World Cup and stuff. And like we did pugs, and we invited everyone that's like masters and above to do pugs with us, just to see who's out there who wants to play. I swear we had I feel like 9 main supports that wanted to play and like 2 flex supports. It's actually crazy. like maybe the Dutch are just like inherently supposed to be carrying fucking bottoms that like support and not aim. I don't know.
So that's where it is. The Dutch are.
I think so. I think it might be. With too many main supports, too many tanks, and no DPS players.
So Ara says, what is the most important thing what both supports, like if main supports are thinking, what flex supports should think?
I don't really think it's like defined like that. I think as a main support, I mean, I told you a lot today, like, hey, try and give guidance. That's the most important thing you need to be thinking about. From there on, it really depends. For instance, in stage 2, I was playing with Johan and Willis. Willis was super vocal, and I was doing a lot of the back and forth with him to make fight plans and like give direction, or like I would give direction, he would make the fight plan. And Johan was more like a chill guy. He would call us an ultimate, but realistically, he was just like focusing on his mechanics and doing stuff. He was more of a chill guy, less speaking. And we heard some clips earlier from Sakura. Z is the opposite, boy. Z is very vocal. Z will be like the main fight planner like most of the time. So I give direction, boom, Z instantly catch up. Okay, we're gonna fox first, then we're gonna beat after, then we're gonna clock. Or let's clock early and bait something and then beat after. So I don't think it's like a role defined. I think it really depends on the players and the team and like what's needed. It could really be anything, but yeah. If your flex support's really vocal and they want the back and forth of you and what to do, that's great. And if not, then then they don't.
How do you practice ult tracking other than the 2-fight rule?
The 2-fight rule? Oh, okay. Like they haven't used it in 2 fights. Okay. Honestly, practice it by doing. But like, if there's anything, I want to say is like, if there's anything I was trying to teach today, is that low-key doesn't matter. Like if you have the ult track perfectly, I can guarantee you there are some main support in Faceit Master somewhere that can ult track better than I can, like more accurately, right? But it doesn't matter because whether or not you're perfectly accurate or not, hopefully you are, right? Hopefully you over time you get better at it. But I think it's way more important to give your team direction and proper information rather than just do the ult track. So if you want to practice, you can look at it again. Like you can record your comms and then listen back, and then like ask someone to record a scrim overhead and listen to your voice and then see if you had it right or not, and then maybe why you had it wrong. But realistically, like the real thing I want to say, it does not matter. It really doesn't. Just you'll get better over time by just being active about it and just doing it over and over. You know, you'll get better at it. But it really is not the main thing you should be focusing on, in my opinion. Like I really think you should focus way more on like what it actually means to have a certain ult track. Should we play close? Should we play far? Should we do something crazy? Should we play the objective? Should we be careful of the clock? You know, I think that's way more important than actually ult tracking itself, if that makes sense.
Would you say that a main support is only as good as its callouts?
No. I think callouts and like leading, I personally think is really important for main support. But I mean, you could have someone have the perfect calls, but if they, you know, run it down mid and just die because they're shit at Lucio, like they're still shit main support. You know what I'm saying? Like, so no, it depends on a lot of things. I think calling is important, specifically for main support, is important, and setting tempo and giving direction. But I don't think it's like the only thing that defines you. Like mechanics are very important too, surprisingly, and living and stuff.
What's your take on console players hopefully getting the opportunity to play as high as Faceit, but are being held back by not owning?
Okay. It's funny because I actually started when Overwatch came out. I was like, I don't know, 16 or some shit. I played on console. I was pretty shit, like a better. And I stopped playing for a while, and then eventually I came to PC, and then I competed. But I know a lot of players that are on console. And obviously, like, they actually can be really fucking good. Like, there's a lot of console players that have gotten really good. I think Yazan, I mean, fuck the console, but he was like rank 1 console and then came to thing. I think Quartz started on console too, if I'm not completely mistaken. And eventually, if they really want to compete, and this is going to sound really elitist, because obviously not everyone can, like, you know, get a, you know, have access or get a PC. But if like competing is really all you care about and really get better, and that's really what you want, then, you know, and you really want to get to OWCS and get to the top, you just kind of have to get a PC. Like, so yeah. I know there's still things out there for console too, like the console gaming league. Like they have a bunch of GOATS tournaments. They have a lot of normal tournaments for like all the console teams. They're still good. Like they still exist. So it's not like you're completely cut out. But if you really want to take it serious, then I mean, you're gonna have to play on PC. Just purely because you need to be on like mouse and keyboard alone, you know. So yeah, it might suck if you're in there, but if you really care and you want to get like better and really compete, then you just kind of just have to bite the bullet at some point, unfortunately.
How do you keep your mental after losing over and over again?
I'll tell you a funny story, okay? I don't know if people were familiar with my stage 2 when we just promoted into OWCS with Quick. Again, Dip, Willis, Johan, Sidra. Our very first game, we were against VP. And VP was like undefeated this year still. They were 10-0 in the first stage. They were really good, right? Everyone, clear favorites. And we lost 2-3. Barely. And then the week after, we beat TU. Also, we're massive underdogs. And we won 3-2. It was a crazy game. And we were upsetting against the underdogs, right? I always say, if you cannot lose together, you will never win together. Most important thing is having fun. Having people around you in the team that also can have fun and won't tilt when you're losing. Because it's just not productive. If I look back, I don't know if I can show you, but if I would look back and find the scrim logs of the 3 weeks leading up to that stage, like our first game where we did super well, right? We outperformed everyone's expectations. I don't think we had a winning scrim in 3 weeks, and I'm not kidding. Like, we barely won maps. Like, we were losing all the time, but at least we made it useful. At least we kept going. We kept the high mental. We didn't get tilted. I mean, to be honest, those quick guys again, Dip, Willis, Zydra, Snowdrop, Johan, fantastic people. Like super nice, super genuine, like super positive. Like they'll never really tilt, you know. And I think you just have to accept that you're playing a video game and are having fun. That's the only way. Because if you cannot lose together that whole time, you will never get better, and you will never actually be able to actually, like, you know, outgrow yourself. Because the moment you get tilted in scrim in fucking map 2 and you're tilted, boom, you're tilted, boom, 2 of your other teammates are tilted. The rest of the scrim is fucking useless. Actually useless. Like, you'll just not learn anything anymore. Because everyone's just there and not having a good time. So, I mean, just really try and have fun. And if you can't, then you have to keep each other responsible. Because, yeah, tilting just doesn't lead to anything. We're playing a video game after all, you know? You do want to have fun. And I think that's the most important thing. It's not always easy, don't get me wrong. But you have to have fun. You have to be able to lose together, or you will never win together. I hope that answers your questions decently. Also, yeah, you can, if you want to like join, like if you want to ask your question like in the VC instead of like typing out, that you can also do that, by the way. I don't mind that. I don't know if what's possible, but
yep, yeah. Anyone's welcome to come up. If someone just types a question, I'm reading it out loud. But if you have a question, say, you know, bring me up on stage.
Yeah, those who says you have to have fun, and I agree, you have to have fun. I've gotten really lucky this year. Both Sakura and Quick were like so much fun. Like, actually, like I cannot emphasize how much fun I've had on both those teams. How fun those people were. And I think a lot of teams that like underperform also underperform because they're not having fun and they don't want to be there because they're not good teammates and they don't have fun and they lose and they get tilted. Yeah, so let's just say I wasn't surprised that Peps beat Vision because after that long season, I knew Peps were going to have like high spirits and they were going to have fun because I know those people. And I wasn't so sure if like the same could be said about a mixed roster of Koreans and stuff where there's obviously way more friction, you know, and they might not always have fun. Even though they're like, you know, mechanically fucking goated, you know. Vision was really good. It was a really good team.
How can you pick your team back up after losing multiple team fights as a
Pick your team back up. I mean, again, just focus on what we talked about, right? Like, take every fight as they come, you know? We have, you know, let's go next fight. You know, oh, we have all the advantage. We should do this. Or we should play close, play far, whatever the fuck it is. Just really focus on next fight. Picking up is hard, you know? Because if you're hard losing a map in scrims or, you know, it might just feel shit. Sometimes it's just like, just lose the map. And then, you know, look at it after. Talk about it in between the next map. Look at it after the scrim, what went wrong. Sometimes you cannot fix it instantly, and that's fine. You just gotta learn. And if it's an official, I mean, just keep the energy high. Like, just be so positive, like it's actually crazy. Because if you cannot get that positivity, and this doesn't go for main supports, it goes for anyone, then it's very easy to slip into this doubtful, oh, we're losing, oh, I'm scared to do anything now, and like not play the game. But if the energy is high, and I know like Sakura, for instance, played a really high tempo, really high energy, we just had so much fun. Like, we would do some fucking crazy, stupid plays just because we're having fun and like keeping the spirits high, even if we were losing fights, you know?
Fights where both teams have a bunch of ult feels overwhelming to fight plans. How do you approach planning such fights usually?
I mean, one thing I didn't talk about today is fights where, like, you know, the ults are kind of mirrored, you know? Both teams have, like, Beat and Fox and Clock or something. Like, it's at that point, it's just about execution. You can still give direction of, like, what you should use first and stuff, but that might not even be your job. That might just be your shot caller's job, too. When it gets messy. I mean, honestly, this is going to sound like a boring answer, but it's just practice. If you look at any of the world finals between, like, Alcatsia and Twisted Minds, you can just see they're so practiced in, like, they kind of can see the future, you know? Sometimes as a main support, or just in general, you can kind of see the future because you've been there so many times. they're gonna fox, we're gonna fox, they're gonna beat, we're gonna beat, and then both teams are gonna try and win with grab, something, you know. Like you can almost like before the fight even happens, just by looking at the ult board, you can kind of like go forward in time and like play out the fight. And I think some of the best players in the world are really good at that. I think one of my main inspirations for calling was Daan. I don't know if you guys remember Daan from Overwatch League. I was on the bench in the Dutch World Cup team last World Cup. He was really, really good at like, you know, the fight was about to start, like Ultra came through, and you know exactly kind of what was going to happen. They're going to clock first. We need to then use our cooldowns to live that, and then we beat back in. And he would like layer the fight like super well just by like almost like looking into the future, if that makes sense. So yeah, just practice. Maybe if you look at pro play, you can like see like how they do it, and they'll make it easier. I think one of the best ways to get better as a team, like or at a comp as a team, is like, you know, look what the pros do. You know, look at the officials, and like if you have the replay code specifically, you can like look and this is how to do it. But really, it's just practice. You know, like you'll get better at like seeing how these fights develop. At some point, you've played so many Lucio Kiramirs, you're gonna know that the Foxes are gonna get traded on point, and then the team that gets the better overclock value wins. You know, it's like just practice. I know it gets chaotic, but it's just practice. It's looking at the games, it's voting with your team, and slowly getting better over time.
What's your preferred beverage?
I drink a lot of water, and I drink a bunch of milk, actually. Full fat milk. That's mostly what I drink.
Okay.
As for alcoholic beverage, that's a bit more tough. Like, I don't know. I'll drink a beer here and there, but I like I'm more of a sweet tooth. I like cocktails and soft like rum and coke and stuff. Like, kind of like more, yeah, sweet stuff really. Full fat, yes. More protein, bro. More calories. I mean, sorry.
Which Lucio skin is the best for you?
I usually rock the blue Prince skin. I don't know. I don't know if that's the name. It's like the Prince skin, but it got recolored to blue at some point. Like Space Prince. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that one. Honestly, I was never really much of a skin enjoyer until I got onto the team with Yoham, and Yoham is like the biggest skinhead in the game almost. Like that guy loves his fucking cosmetics. So he kind of like he kind of got me into it. We need more jazzy love? Absolutely not. Fuck that skin. The sounds are too stupid. Attempt me not. I'm sorry. That's illegal.
How important are mechanics when compared to giving your guidance?
What's more important? Oof. I think they're both really important. Like I think I said it before. You could have the best calls, but if you're inting it down main, then you're gonna lose the game. Or you could like have perfect micro and be funny Astro on the sticks, but if you don't actually give any direction, then you're not doing your job still, you know? So I think both are important. As for practice, you know, if you're with your team and you're scrimming, it's probably easier and more important to practice like maybe some of the stuff, you know, like we just talked about, and like doing that well. But also you need to be able to do that stuff while maintaining decent mechanics, you know? So when you're in ranked, maybe really focus on your mechanics instead, you know? Really focus on how you swing your corner, or not getting cut out, seeing where the open space is on the map, like that kind of stuff. So both are really important. I don't think you can just pick one.
How has scrimming on other teams changed the player?
Scrimming on other teams. You learn a thing or two about yourself when you like deal with a lot of people and a lot of teams. Like you learn how to deal with people that you know might tilt, and then you learn what you don't want, and what you don't want in your teammates, and hopefully for your next team you find teammates that are very positive and not negative. I think you just learn something every time. You know, when I got started, I was pretty shit, but you know, just keep working, keep improving every day, like a little bit, and then eventually you'll just see the massive difference, you know? Even if it feels like you're doing baby steps, you'll just get better. I think at some point, Regicap told me, Regicap, like an old ex-Oblivion coach in Europe, if anyone remembers him, Shout out that guy. I love Reggie. He was one of the first ones to tell me, hey, you know, like you're ult tracking and stuff, but you really need to like do it actively more. You actually need to give more direction. You really need to make sure you use that information instead of just saying it. And then that's when it started clicking. Like, oh, I actually might do it a little bit more. You know, that's how I got to the stuff I got to you today. You know, like slowly but surely, I developed this framework for myself. It's actually funny because I don't actually know how other main supports do it. This is just how I do it. You actually talk surprisingly not a lot with other main supports. I feel like a lot of things I talked about is probably like universal truths, but there's probably some stuff in there that like I do that nobody else does, or there's things that like Admiral will do that I definitely don't do, or haven't even thought about. You know, so I'm just giving you my perspective of how I've developed over the years and what I think is important and the steps I kind of took. But yeah, you'll just learn everything over time, I suppose.
How many fundamentals of main support can you practice in ranked?
Could you define fundamentals? Because that's very broad. Like maybe move on to the next, like another question in the meanwhile.
Yeah, I'll go to another one for now. Do you have a main support idol or a player you respect a lot?
It's very funny because when I played like on console, in, like the very beginning days, like just casually, I watched a couple pro matches and like, you know, yeah, you just at some point I remember thinking at some point, holy fuck, this funny Astro guy is really good at Lucio. Like that is crazy. I think that's the first time I at least remember, like, you know, thinking like that guy is really good. Maybe even thinking like, oh, if only I could be as good as that guy someday. And fucking bad news for me, that guy is still fucking going. Like it's hard to catch up if he's still fucking winning world championships. But I think there's a lot of things you can take from a lot of people. You can even take a lot of things from people that you're scrimming with at your same level. You know, whether it's mechanics or the way they call or like. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just the main ones. Funny Astro. I really, really liked Chio. Taught me a lot of how to play Brig. Like I watched a lot of Chio when I came to Brig. Like when I was learning Brig and like practicing Brig, like Chio did a lot for me, I think.
Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? I just had a question about what are your favorite comps that you guys have been running recently? Because there's a lot of variation. Yeah, like comps. Like either it's like, you know, Sigma, Sig Bastion, all that stuff, or Vendetta.
I mean, I feel like I have bad news for you because I'm playing on Kintsugi with Zeb, and Zeb has a hero pool that consists of ground tanks.
Trust me.
But basically, I love Zarya Vendetta. It's really good. I see a lot of teams play like Bastion to counter Zarya and stuff. Vendetta's just really fucking broken, I can't lie. So a lot of Lucio Kiri, Vendetta, Zarya. In the Dutch scrim, sometimes like, you know, because Kran is more of like a monkey player and stuff. We play some monkey and Ana and Wu Yang and stuff. But yeah, I like.
Fair enough.
You know, still the Vendetta Zarya is really good, and I mean, if you're gonna think about good comps like Lucio Kiri, Sim, Diva, Ram, that kind of stuff, like the Twisted Minds Akatsuya playstyles are also still very strong. So it's like
definitely, yeah. Okay, all good. Thank you.
No worries.
What to do if comp or scrim is going bad? Still perform good with macro and micro for a team light into.
Is it something I need to fucking? I had to read this again. Hold up. Like,
I think it's I think they're trying to ask if a scrim's going poorly, but to still try to keep up, you know, your performance. I think that's.
I mean, most important. Sometimes scrims just like don't go so well. Again, like I think trying to keep positive is most important. Make sure everyone is still trying. Make sure everyone's still like mentally clocked in, because if a couple people clock out, it's like really hard to do anything anyway. If it's going really bad, talk to your team. Sometimes you cannot fix it at the same time. Try and find solutions. Try and some different stuff. If like you lose 3 times in a row on the same mirror, then there's probably something you don't understand, or they're doing really better than you. But you're not gonna if you haven't figured it out in free maps, probably just look at it after and see what they're doing better than you, and figure it out together after. And in the meanwhile, throw some shit at the wall and see what sticks. Like, you're losing the Vendetta Zarya mirror over and over again for like a whole scrim, and you can't figure it out. Fuck it, try and do something else. Play some ball, play some Bastion, do something crazy. Like, throw some shit in the wall and see if you can make it work.
Everyone be a pro player if you practice and have motivation. How? Is it just practicing one by one slowly? 5 years maybe?
That's a hard question, because you're asking, could anyone make it? Like, I might be the biggest example of, I feel like you can. But it also takes a certain individual. Like I could sit here all I want to say, yeah, I was very old when I started competing. I was like, 23 when I started competing, and like now I'm here, I'm 27, the oldest player in fucking WCS, Like, I could say that, like, yeah, if you just work hard enough and long enough, and like, you'll make it, but there's never a guarantee, for one. But also, like, maybe what I might have things that other people don't have. For instance, like, I worked a lot when I was in uni, and like financially I'm pretty decently well off. Like, I do a lot of IT work. Like, I earned a bunch of money. Like, I can sustain myself while playing Overwatch, not have to worry too much about money. I can actually, like, play the game without having to worry about paying the bills, because I've set myself up for that. But there's plenty of people, like, that they might have even more motivation than I have and even more grind set, but they just physically cannot do it because, like, commitment is calling. That's also the reason why people usually don't get that old when they're competing in esports, because at some point real life starts knocking. Either they have been playing until they're 14 and they get bored, or real life calls, and that's just sometimes what it is. I think you also just need to really love the game somehow. You need to really have some. You need to love the game. You need to be able to, like, look yourself in the mirror and, like, get better, and, like, be honest with yourself, and be able to practice efficiently. Like, not everyone knows how to do it. Like, I've been things that I have that I think contributed to me, getting slowly better and better over time, even if it took a little bit. When I was a little bit older, is because I learned how to practice things. I've been teaching teams how to play field hockey for years. Like, for over a decade. So I think anyone could do it, like, technically, given you're not, like, maybe, like, have like an extra severe disability for your eyes or something. Like, obviously if you're blind, it's going to be really hard, or, like, impossible maybe even. So I think everyone could do it, but it's also not realistic for a lot of people. Like, a lot of things need to go right. There might be a lot of intangibles you don't know you have or not until you try. Maybe you don't have, like, the learning spirit, or like the maybe maybe you don't have the confidence even. Some people might not even have the confidence. I think I didn't watch all of it. I skipped through it. But I know Spylo talked about some of this, I think, in the last seminar, or maybe in one of his videos or something. I can't remember. So I would love to say everyone could do it. And I guess maybe with enough time and effort you could. But it's also not, like, viable for everyone. Because it's also not like, I'm a pro. Well, it's not like I'm making hella bank, like full-time job. Everyone that can make it, it's like very limited teams that can, like, make a full-time salary and, like, able to sustain themselves with, like, nothing but Overwatch. So I hope that answered your question. I think that's kind of where I stand, I suppose.
So the follow-up to the practicing in ranked fundamentals, they say, by fundamentals I mostly mean comms. How do you coordinate with randoms, especially when you need practice parts like identifying where to play or mid-fight ult tracks?
Okay, no matter where you practice, whether it's in ranked or in scrim, you can just do it. Like, you don't need your team to actually follow up. Like, you can give direction. If they don't do it, then fucking who cares? I mean, I'll have a confession, okay? I'll have a confession. And a lot of fucking people might hate me for this, especially people that might play my elo. When I play Overwatch in ranked, on an alt account, streamer mode on, voice chat off, text chats off. I am literally playing single player. That sounds really bizarre, maybe, But when I play ranked, it's usually because I want to practice one thing, and I'm just doing that one thing. If I want to practice, hey, I want to really, practice on my calling mid fight, and like calling that what ults are gonna have mid fight. Like when I do that in ranked, like I can literally do it to myself. I mean, this is psychotic. I wouldn't recommend everyone do this. Like I'm a bit of a psychopath in that sense, but like I'll just be talking to myself, like, oh yeah, watch out, they're gonna have Wu Yang ult here, like mid fight. I'll just be talking to myself. You don't need your teammates, if that makes sense. Like if they don't listen, then they don't listen, But at least you can still practice what you want to practice. And if you feel like you can't, then do it in scrims, I hope that answers your question. Maybe there's a bad confession, or maybe a lot of people will hate me for doing this, but like I really enjoy playing single player mode because I know I get to focus on whatever goal I've set for myself a little bit more, and I know I'll get less tilted. Like I don't get tilted by losing. I will get tilted if I'm trying my ass off in ranked and like trying to tell people what to do and they don't listen and then we lose. That's when I know I'll get sad and like play less. So I literally just decide, you know what? It's more valuable for me to just play single player and focus on me. I hope that answers your question. It's not for everyone, but yeah, it might give you some insight.
How do you think Wu Yang is, meta?
I mean, I think it could work. I think if you're not playing like objective-based game mode, Lucio Kiri, Diva Sim, Ramatra and stuff, like Ven, I think he's actually not too bad. I think this kid's still good. Especially because Tracer's bad. Like it's a lot harder to catch him off guard because a lot of people are playing a lot of very stacked comps right now, so it might be easier to take angles and play wide with him. I'll also be honest, like the whole stage 3 when we came out, like I'm playing with Zeb. Zeb needs a speed boost, so I didn't actually get to play much Wu Yang in like scrims or anything. So I wish I was the Wu Yang GOAT, but like I'm currently hard working catching up to that status, Like I'm like when I play ranked, I play a lot of Wu Yang just because I know I want to catch up to, maybe some of the other main supports that played Wu Yang all the time, Obviously you play him in ranked every now and again, but like for the last stage for me, it was never really needed. So I'm like really trying hard to catch up. But I think he's pretty decent. I don't think he's if Lucio's banned, it's probably like a Wu Yang Kiri or something. Or Brit.
Okay, I see 2 questions that kind of are very similar. So I'll ask them both. Is there stuff that Vega does that you will never do? Then what distinguishes your playstyle from other main support level? Is there any rule/theme you try to always follow?
I mean, Loki, I met Vega in the Netherlands, like, but I never talked to Vega of like, oh, hey, how do you do this or how do it? And I also, I mean, I watch his VODs every now and again, like in our games and stuff, like from scrims, but like, I wouldn't be able to tell you like this is what Vega does really well and this is what I do really well. Like, it's really hard for me to find out what they actually do because I don't have their comps. I don't really know. I don't know how they speak or how they lead or how they direct, Because I've been preaching all day today about directing your team. I'm just told you how I do it and how I've learned to do it. I don't know if everyone does it. I think there's fundamental truths that I've been saying, but it's probably some stuff that I don't do and other people do. I think what I can speak about is what I do really well. I think I'm really good at the stuff I showed you. Like I know I like almost a flow chart, if you could still see my screen, if you see this thing. I'm usually really good at like discovering very fast where we're at in the game, finding the game state, and then giving direction how I would, like what needs to happen for us to win, like on a macro skill. I think there's a lot of things in bigger ult fights that I do well. Like tell my team I want to beat first instead of Fox when that's normally the other way around, or just realizing what needs to happen to win the fight. I think there's a lot of things I do that direct to that. But obviously, like our top main support does that in some capacity. So I know I can do it pretty well, but like, maybe they do it even better. I wouldn't know. And then lastly, I think one thing I do really well is I think because I have so much coaching experience IRL, like I have a bunch of like I wouldn't say degrees, but like I've done a bunch of like work in field hockey and like courses and stuff, like multi-month courses about coaching and stuff. I really know how to set an environment. Like when you're in a team with me, I really will always make sure we have something to work on while we go into the scrim, and I will remind people of it. And we will VOD together, and I like taking leads in VODs as well. If my coach isn't, because my coach also can do it, obviously. But I really think I get like a lot of value, like making sure everyone's on the same page, everyone's working on the same things, and we're improving together as a unit. And like also, for instance, with the Dutch team and the pugs and stuff, everything I showed you now, it's also kind of what I'm trying to teach them, especially the ones that are coming in and maybe like are a little bit more novice or like a little newer to competing or like a little bit lower like a little bit less experienced. Like I'm trying to not only like tell them what to do and like direct them to do the right play, I'm also trying to teach them why. Why did we make a crazy play there? Why we should have played slow there? So they understand as well, and they get in the same framework as me, because if everyone kind of understands what I'm trying to do, it will be way more efficient for them to realize the same things in the game. That's, I think, with Sakura, we got so much better, is because at some point we knew what we wanted to do. Everyone was on the same page, like framework-wise, because we just scrimmed so much together and like talked about it so much, that sometimes I don't even have to say a word, or like I say one thing and they instantly know what I mean, and everyone's on the same page and everyone's trying to accomplish the same goal. So I hope that answers your question. I think that's what I'm really good at specifically, like setting up good environments, and that's also why I think like a lot of my teams this year have gone so much better and outperformed like expectation. Like with Quick and both with Sakura, like both two of those. It's like a nice mix of like having a really good environment to learn and everyone wanting to be there and everyone being fun and happy, and actually focusing really well on improving as a unit. So yeah, I've gotten really lucky this year with this, but yeah, I guess part of that is also skill.
Right. Just want to throw out, I know we're well over, but I think we're getting close to the end of the questions. But if you need to, step out, just say anything. Well, of course. But...
I'm all good. I'm going to bed after this, so I'll be here until I go to bed. I'm all good.
Is there anything you can do to specifically practice mechanics?
Oof. Okay, I'll keep it short because I think there's a lot of things you can do. I think the main thing is that if you look at my screen, maybe. If you practice, you need to practice and like set yourself a challenge, right? Really focus on one thing only. If you focus at too many things at the same time, you're not going to improve at any of them. So set one goal, give yourself feedback, and make it subconscious. Make it part of your autopilot. This is how I've always done it. I think that's how like most people should improve efficiently. Really, if there's also break it down. If I set one goal. The same thing as I would call with coming, like, hey, really only focus on telling your team to play far or close. That's what I'm practicing today, right? Same thing go with mechanics. You cannot have it being too broad. Just set one small goal and just work at it until you feel like you did it. Like, mechanics is super broad. Maybe you feel like, I don't know, you're dying too much when you're peaking. Maybe you're just, your movement's bad, or maybe your wall riding sucks, or maybe you fucking, I don't know, feel like you're not doing enough damage or something. Whatever it is, whatever goal you have, set it, go and try and do it, really focus on it, go back in the VOD, see if you actually did it well, or where you did it good, where you did it bad, and then hopefully the more you do it, you'll realize in the game, oh hey, this is, the me from 2 days ago would have fucking peaked here and died, but the new me that has focused on like peeking properly didn't peek that angle because the Widow was holding it, and I didn't get one shot, and then you reinforce yourself to learn, and you start recognizing it more and more, and then eventually it's subconscious, and then you go on to the next thing. I hope that's useful, but really just take one thing, really boil it down to one simple thing, and then try and practice that one thing over and over until you feel like you got it, and then go on to the next.
You are having a consistent problem while you play, such as one mechanic or part of the macro. How do you identify said problem and adapt to it mid-game? Or is that not really possible and VOD is necessary to analyze and apply the solution?
All right. I need to read that question. Can you reread that for me real quick? I need to break that down.
Sure. If you are having a consistent problem while you play, such as one mechanic or part of macro, how do you identify said problem and adapt it mid-game? Or is this not really possible and VOD is necessary to analyze and apply the solution?
I mean, if you go into a scrim or like a ranked session and you don't like have already a goal set of something you want to improve on, and like you need to find stuff to improve on, stuff like this is really good. You know, I just gave you a bunch of information. There's like I can imagine there's probably some stuff you never thought about, and like, oh, I could probably practice this now. So then, boom, you have that one practice. Try again. Practice it. Look at itself. Did you do it well or did you not do it well? Practice it a little bit more, and eventually it's automatic. So voting is part of that. If you're really like, if you have nothing, you can, you know, like if you have nothing that you think you can improve on, then I don't know. What I would do is literally like look at my own gameplay and just like, you'll probably find some things. I know it's really hard to do this because you're obviously going to look for things where you int, and it feels like, again, it feels like the electric toaster being thrown at you. Like you don't want, your brain doesn't want to, but you can probably just find some stuff yourself. Otherwise, I don't know. Get some coaching, get some VODs, and maybe they'll point some stuff out for you, make it easy for you. Ask your teammates. Maybe they have something for you. One thing you could do if you look at your own VOD, literally just like go to the bookmarks tab, and then just like look at every single death you had in one map, and then write down why you died. I died 9 times this scrim. I died here because I peeked like an idiot. I died here because I wasn't aware that they were gonna flux. I died here because I wasn't aware that they were gonna overclock. I wasn't aware here that they were gonna Wu-Angle, so that's why I died. Oh, boom, okay. You look at that, you look at your fucking tally, and you're just like, okay, I died like 7 times or the 9 times because I wasn't aware of the fact that they were ulting me. Or that they had a certain ult. Alright, boom. Next day, you can try and improve by just like looking, being more aware of what ults they have and how to not die to them, you know? So, you can do something like that. I hope that gives you some direction. I don't know if it was a perfect answer, but I'll get you on your way, I think.
What is the difference between Grandmaster and Champion level player? I mean, like, sometimes it feels like you were doing the same thing as the other guy, but he is still better.
If you're the GM and they're the Grandmaster, or sorry, they're the champ. Oof. I mean, okay, Loki, I don't really like respect rank that much, if that makes sense. Like being high ranked, obviously, like the best players are the highest ranked, right? But they're not high ranked because they grinded ranked or something. They're high ranked because they're good players. Because all the small steps that I talked about today, they know it. You know, they know it on the back of their hand. They do it automatically. They just step by step got all those skills, acquired all those skills, and like can just do it automatically. Whereas, you know, maybe you don't see it right away, but if you're the GM3 player and like you're getting gapped by the Champ 4 player, there's just probably some things that you're currently like not aware of or like not well practiced in that they have already, you know, spent some time doing well. So even if it sometimes doesn't look on the surface that they're better, like they might just come a little bit better, they might just shoot their gun a little bit better, they might not get caught out as much by enemy ultimates, they might not die as much, they make better decisions. Like could be anything, but it's usually just the fact that they practice certain skills a little bit more. And just step by step, like brought their level higher and higher. But I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what the difference is between a GM3 and a Champ 3 player because honestly, there's some Champ 3 players in there that I'm like, that I look at them like, bro, these guys are fucking idiots. Like, what are they doing here? You know, like what are they like what are they trying to do here? Like, so you know, sometimes they just have really good mechanics. I mean, that's also just one thing. They could be dumb as bricks, but if they hit every shot, then you know, GG.
Who is your favorite teammate inside and outside the game?
This is easy. I think my very first team I was on a team with Dip. And this is weird because Dip is a lot younger than me. Like Dip is like 20, I think. No, and I'm 27. No, Dip is not even 20. He's like 19, I think. So I met him when he was like 14 or 15 or some shit. But he's always been like a fucking like a very joyful, positive, will never tilt, smart, positive guy. Like, and I met him a bunch of times in Paris and on lands and stuff. Like, I'm just really good friends with Dip, and I think like, you know, he's just a really awesome guy. Like to hang out in and out of the game. Like, yeah, I'm a fossil, exactly.
Is it more important to make? Oh, sorry.
So I was just gonna say, Dip is like, if I have to pick one, then it's probably Dip. Dip is just my day one, I think. But there's a lot of people I really like playing with, like, and I've developed friendships with, like, even people that stopped competing or like didn't pursue it. Like, yeah, I'm happy that, like, even though I spent a lot of time on Overwatch, you know, like I sacrificed a lot of my social life, obviously, to play Overwatch and get good. But I also got like so many friendships in return of people like I still see, like, I mean, not daily, but like at events we travel to each other, we hang out, like that kind of stuff, you know. Like there's a lot of them. But I guess if I had to name one, it's probably just Dip because I've known him for so long.
Is it more important to make a game plan based off ult track of your own or your own team available ult?
Okay, I think if you go to ever rewatch the seminar, it really depends. Like, ideally, if you're like the best of the best, you'll take everything into consideration, right? And then you'll mix and match. You're like, oh hey, we have these ults, they have these ults, so we should probably play close and do that and do this and make a plan based on everything, all the information available. But if you're just starting out, because I think that's what you're asking, if you're just starting out and you're not sure, and like currently you're a TI-84 calculator only ult tracking and you're not really giving direction, really just start by like doing your own ults. Just literally, I can take it if you go for the seminar again. I try to just put it in order of like how you can like improve. Okay, so we first talked about, hey, should we win with our ultimates? Should we be open or close? If that's the first step you're not currently doing, boom, practice that. Make game plans off of just your own ultimates and just get used to it. You know, if that's something you already do, then you know go a step further. You know, oh, we have to consider their ultimates. Where do they want to play? How we're gonna deal with them? You know, and then eventually you get to like ult economy and like eventually if you keep going through the slides, eventually you'll get to like, you know, me pretending like you know the gif where he's like at a whiteboard like with all different kind of shenanigans and scratches and like trying to explain. You know the gif I'm talking about, the crazy guy from I think Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something. You get to this stuff and it's like, boom, I have everything now. You know, it's not the one I mean, but that's also fine. That also works. Like you're gonna feel like you're a crazy person like looking at these charts and stuff, but like if you just go step by step, you'll eventually get to the point where you can take everything in consideration. You know. Wait, Natsuki is fossil 27. Must be one of the older OWCS gamers. Yeah, that is true. Like, I guess technically Soon is, but yeah, Soon isn't playing as much. I'll say it. Let's just say if they sub in Zoon for Dip, like the chances of winning just fucking wind up exponentially.
Okay, so my question is, what are your thoughts on the promotional trailer?
That was fire. That was fire. I didn't expect that at all. I don't know.
Actually,
I love that shit. Yeah, like the one for me, right? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
I've lost sleep over that. Anyways, I also want to ask, did you ever get like promotional trailers for other seminars before, or no?
I'll give you some. I don't think I've ever done a seminar, so it's not really like.
Oh, okay.
Like, not like this anyway. So.
Well, anyways, thanks for your thoughts and.
I'm assuming you might be very close related to the person that made that fucking trailer. Is that correct? Is that correct assumption?
I am the person who made the trailer.
Yeah, that was it. Like exactly. That's what I was thinking. I appreciate it, bro. That was good. I saw that was very nice. I don't know if Malevolence showed me my DMs, but I was like, oh shit, this is fire. That's crazy. I actually showed it to some of my teammates too.
Actually,
so, like,
and what did they say?
Yeah. Let me check. Where was it? The cafe.
You don't need to sugarcoat it. If there's like a negative opinion, I appreciate it. If there's,
I think they were just like
something
surprised. I think they were just like, "Holy shit! Like this is actually happening."
Oh,
fire! I don't know. They were just surprised that it happened. You know, it's same as me. I was kind of surprised I got a fucking introduction. That was crazy. I appreciate it. Man.
Well, I'm glad. Anyways, thanks for coming again, and until next time.
Thank you for listening to me for fucking 3 hours. Like,
no problem, always.
And for the fucking introduction, of course. Appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, I think that's pretty much wrapping it up. But yeah, Egg is still here. Did we want to ban them? Or
no, they paid attention. I saw them in here.
Okay.
They were doing a good job. I love Egg. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks again.
No, don't ban Egg. He deserves not to get banned.
Thanks again to Natsuki, and thanks for everyone, who tuned in and listened. If you have any socials or anything like that, I know there were some people that were interested in maybe seeing if they could, I don't know if it's a thing they do, but for, the thing you help out with, the wheelchair, the hockey and everything like that. We could always talk about it later and figure something out, and, I'll share a link if something does come from it,
Exactly. I mean, awesome. Usually, I mean, it's like a group of like 16 people max. Like I'm hosting. It's not like a massive thing, but like those people, like obviously once a week we practice together, like in a hall and stuff. And then we have like matches like every other month or so, or every month. Yeah. Like I just I spend my time there anyway. I volunteer there anyway. Like I make sure like they're right. So just supplying them with a little bit extra money is nice. But it's not like needed or anything. I was just happy that like you guys were willing to because you guys really wanted to pay me, and I didn't really. I would have done this for free. Like I would have just I like to give back because there's also players and coaches that helped me in the past when I was a lot worse. So I really think it's almost like my duty to give back to the new generation. So I would have done it for free. I'm just really happy that it can happen. And if you ever want a VOD or something, like I don't really offer like paid coaching or whatever. Like I don't really do it. But if I ever have time and you want to pay me for it, then I'll probably go there. Like it'll probably go to that fund. So yeah, feel free to DM me about it. I might not be able to because I might not have time. But yeah, if you want, you can just DM me about it. That sounds good. You're allowed to. Don't feel bad DMing me.
Right.
Well, and for socials, I mean, I'm on Twitter, I guess. I don't really stream that much, so like I never really stream. I might at some point, but it's not really something I'm into. So just follow me on Twitter, I guess. It'll be fun. Follow me while I'm playing the game, like when I'm doing World Cup and WCS and stuff. Yeah, cheer me on. That's already nice.
Right. Great.
Wait, I have 2 last questions. Holy. All right, hit him. Quast. Go. Wait, I declined. Ambi, what?
Okay. So my 2 last questions are: why is your username on the internet NielsVH?
Oh, it's my full legal name. My full legal name is Niels van Herwijnen. So it's like an abbreviation of my last name.
Okay. Also, my second question is: how much time did you invest into curating your Spotify playlists?
I'm gonna be honest. I have one list that's called favorites, and I have things like I really like. I'll add to it. Apart from that, I'm not much of a music listener. I'll say it because realistically, like, if I have free time and I'm not working or playing the game, I'll be like, like I'm either watching something or like doing something else. I won't be listening to music. And if I'm playing, I'm not that person. Like I don't like listening to music while I play because I feel like it's a distraction. I know some people do. So like the only way I listen to music is when I'm at the gym. And that's like also for specific music. So not that much time, unfortunately.
So you also have a wait. Which of these playlists are gym specific?
I usually just listen to what I listen to normally, but
okay.
It's usually just like either like poppy rock, like more like or just like very upbeat music, just like things that make me happy.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I like how you have Good Kid in your playlist. Great.
Oh wait, you can see my playlist. There we go.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I love Good Kid. It's good.
Yeah, I'm
some
gonna
fun
also
shit in
send
there.
you. I'm also gonna send you my playlist. There's like 800 songs over there, so maybe you find something interesting.
Go
Anyways,
for it, bro. Go for it. What's my
yeah.
Wingstop order? Okay,
Thanks.
this is a funny thing. No worries. When I was in Iowa, like living like in NA for like OWCS, like they made me try Wingstop because there's not really Wingstop in the Netherlands, but there's in Iowa. Dude, I swear to God, I was eating so well in America. I have Wingstop one time, boom, diarrhea next day. I'm not kidding, and I didn't even have like spicy order or anything. Like that shit's fucked up. Brewer Cold Clears, exactly. You know what's up, Maddie. So like my Wingstop order is don't go to Wingstop. I'm sorry. I just have one bad experience, so like it's ruined forever for me. All right. I think that's about it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks
thank you
again.
for hosting. I hope it was worth it. I hope people got something from it. And yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. GG's everyone. Have a good night.
All right, and everyone else, just remember, little promo for next week. We have Kasaurus coming in on Friday at about the same time this one started. But yeah,
Go to the
I'll
coach,
be...
by the way. Also Dutch. Keep the Dutch genes going. Go to the guy.
Yep.
Kasaurus is like the best coach I've ever worked with. Like I don't know, he makes the game very easy. You know, like I have a lot of coaches I have a lot of respect for and I work with, but Kasaurus, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's like top of the list, like top of the top, but like he just makes the game so easy. I'm sure he's gonna teach you guys a bunch of stuff. It's gonna be nice. All right, cool. Cheers, everyone.
See you guys later.
See you guys. Bye bye. Have a good night.